Moon awareness is self-awareness. Women are in sync with the phases of the moon. We are all affected by moon because the moon governs liquids, fluids, and it affects our bodily fluids, especially our fertility cycle. The full moon is a mini celebration release every month that nurtures us mind, body, and soul. Rites of Passage has moon swag bags for every full moon every month to aid you in the to maximize the experience. This upcoming full moon will be a full moon in Gemini, November 30th, 2020. If you really want to deepen your experience, take a moon tracking class. In the meantime, spread lunar love. All right. Greetings, family. Greetings. Assalamu alaikum. This is Kiddis. Welcome to the live stream. Tonight is a episode that is kind of special to my heart. And I just when you come in, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Just let me know where you're what city you're in from, because I like to kind of know where everyone is. So tonight, our live stream is a little different, but I'm going to enjoy it. It is all about the Superwoman myth. So I'm kind of looking at my notes. I'm gonna look at my notes down here. So it's about the Superwoman myth. And so some of my sisters and I, we talk about this in detail all the time. Uh, just having that cape on all the time, trying to do everything, really not taking care of self-love, uh, rejuvenating yourself, getting in tune with yourself, and just having the whole idea that we have to do everything and the effects that it has on us in the long term. So some of my friends and I, we really realized these things that was hurting us mentally, physically, emotionally. So we kind of always discuss, like, what are the type of the things that we can use that will help us take it to the next level. What can we incorporate in our life to give ourselves self-love? Why are we so hard on each other? Why don't we give each other's grace? It's a lot of issues when it comes to that, the way that us women move with each other, to the point where sometimes we're just very detrimental and hurtful, and we don't give each other grace. We don't give each other enough grace to be imperfect. None of us are flawless. None of us are perfect. None of us can do everything all the time. I hear women say, I can do it by myself. I'm going to be honest. Me personally, I cannot. I cannot. I would not be able to keep myself in tune with my children. I wouldn't have been able to keep in tune when certain things were going wrong with me if I didn't have that, if I didn't let go of some things, if I kept on thinking I can do everything. And so we have several areas that we kind of want to hit on with that. So first I want to introduce myself. Let me do these banners. I'm so not good with this. Okay, there it goes. It's on the bottom. So hit the like and share, and let's spread the love, because the goal is, first of all, we want to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers, because we want to get a positive message out to our community. I'm kind of shy and bashful, but because I've heard sisters tell me And so I'm speaking from what was told to me. I want to stay as humble as possible. But this is the type of information that we need in our community. We need sisters speaking life over each other. We need sisters speaking word, sound, power. It's so much that I've been hearing on social media. We're all locked down. We're all locked down, and we have just so much time to troll other people, and as well as we're not taking care of ourselves. It's just an interesting dynamics right now with COVID-19. So if you do that favor for me, share this, like it, and subscribe to the channel, and guide me to be a blessing to you, and guide those who can be a blessing to me. Okay, and that's all I want to say in regards to that. So one of the habits that I'm creating is on every show is that I say 3 words that represent sisterhood to me, and each time it's probably going to change because as I'm growing with my YouTube family, hopefully my Instagram family soon, and my Facebook family. I want us to grow as a real community. I I'm going to be changing, and I'm going to be hearing things because I am a Pisces. I'm an empath. So a lot of times I take on the energy that comes to me. So I have to be very, very, very careful of what energy comes towards me. So I have to be very selective about what comes out my mouth. You'll hear me say, over and over again. You might see me write it when I'm on other people's channel. Word sound power. Word sound power is very critical. Your words can speak life, they can speak death, they can speak energy. They can, our mouths are so powerful. When we came over here during as captives, they muzzled us for a reason, because our mouth and our word sounds were so powerful that we could take a life. So we have to be mindful what comes out of our mouth. So I make a concerted effort to always speak um, life over my family, over my friends. And then I just write that as a reminder that we should always be mindful of what's coming out, because what comes in your head comes out your mouth can manifest itself. So I be careful what I'm manifesting. So sisterhood to me is love, healing, and education. And when you have a sisterhood, a real sisterhood, you'll always feel love. It's a different type of love than being with your husband, but you always feel love. You're always being educated because your sisters can teach you something that you may not always have the knowledge to yourself. But we can't know everything. We can't do everything. Sometimes we gotta learn someone to just tell us, like, sis, you're doing too much. Sit down. You know, that's healing. So, and it's education. So those are my 3 words for sister. So I chatted enough. Some of my sisterins have popped up tonight. And so what we're going to be discussing is the Superwoman myth. Stop being a superwoman, be more simple. Be more simple. Um, so I'm going to bring on um, one of my sisterins. I want to edify her because she deserves edification. She's an educator. She she helped me educate my children, because we homeschooled, and I couldn't have done it without her. Um, she fed us. Her family has fed us with good Italian nutritious foods. I learned so much things in the kitchen and how to rear my kids. I mean, I did not learn all this by myself. And then I'm going to bring her on and let her introduce herself. And then I have another sister I will bring on after that. Hold on one second. Greetings, Ajua. How are you, sis?
Good evening, Empress Cadiz.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to go. So do me a favor and share 3 words that describe sisterhood to you.
Let's see.
And please share your name so people know who you are, and just a little bit about yourself, because as you come on a little bit, they're going to know who you are.
All right, all right. Good evening, all. Once again, my name is Ajua Bandalay Asante. It is indeed a pleasure to be on with Empress Cadiz this evening. Um, she has truly been an inspiration to me in terms of a woman who always seems to carry herself with style and grace, who is consistent over time, and dependable. And when I think of sisters, as a mom and a sister and an aunt and a wife and all that, um, I think of what I get from sisterhood. Um, I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and when I look at sisterhood, I don't necessarily think of my fleshy sisters. I think of my good sister, like Empress Cadiz. My fleshy sisters are all right. They've taken care of me. You know, I've been blessed, the youngest of 8 children. But that doesn't mean that we're on the same wavelength. Um, and it's love still. But one thing I get from Sistren overall, when things are going well, I'm definitely feeling confidence. I'm feeling nurturing or nurtured by being around my Sistren. And I feel a sense of safety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. All right, I'm gonna bring on Sister Aishi. This is one of my sistrins as well. Hi, Aishi.
All right, peace and blessings, all. Peace and
You
blessings.
all should know my sister Aishi by now. So, Aishi, can you share 3 words that describe sisterhood?
Sure, I would say tribe. I would say nurturing or nurturer. Um, compassionate, compassion.
Nice, 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 nice. So, it's a interesting topic tonight, so I'm excited about it. Me and Aishi have been discussing this a lot. I stayed up long looking at, like, trying to get different information out and just research, because I just want, to me, this is a very important topic that we need to share with our sisters, because so many of us are just wearing ourselves in the ground, and with COVID, the C word, I don't even want to give it life, okay? But with the situation and, work, and then all the things that's going on in this country, it's high stress. And we have, and I'm seeing so, right now my outlet into the world is social media. And I'm just seeing so much hurt within our community, with our sisters just trying to do, they're not even trying, they're doing so much, and they're being under attack, and I'm not seeing a lot of self-love, self-care. And I feel it's very important that we start discussing and break it down. And I did like some breakdowns of everything, like, what's some of the things that we can do to get ourselves on on this track. But I think the first step, we need to discuss, what do we think about, what do we consider a superwoman? Because I know I had came up with the definition, and then I know, as we were discussing it, what is happening is the opposite. So I want to read the definition of what a superwoman is supposed to be, and then because I know I don't think of it the same way, but I need to. The definition of the superwoman is a woman who knows that she has limited time, energy, resources. She chooses wisely, practice self-care, and respects herself enough to rest, enjoy moments in time, and take action where she can. 10 steps to becoming a natural superwoman. Tune into your body clock, balance your brain, laugh, cry, prioritize, feed your brain, listen carefully. Learn to delegate. Rid yourself of toxins. Are you your own worst enemy? Oh, okay. How
Mhm,
many of us are
mhm.
doing that? And I'm going to put the link in the comment section. I mean, so if anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome to join. And 'cause I love to hear brothers and sisters feedback. Okay. So, Sister Aisha Kiba, can you elaborate on what your thoughts on this?
Yeah, sure. Like you said, the definition is what, it should be. I feel personally like we have gotten away with that. As a matter of fact, we feel like we have an infinitive amount of time, and we allow people to take up our time, energy. I mean, just suck the time, our time, energy, and resources from us. And so the definition that you gave is a perfect definition, but we have gotten so far from that. I think early on, we have been taught to be the mules and the mammies, and that has stuck with
Oh
us
my God, yes.
currently.
The mules and the
I say that
mammies.
to you all the time. I swear I want to get a T-shirt that says
Yes,
mules
we're
and
going to get a
mammies.
t-shirt. I am not
And
your mule or mammy.
I'm not your mule or your mammy, because that's what we were taught early on to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has stuck with us, also given the fact that a lot of our men are, incarcerated or are not there, or if they're there, they're immature, some of them, not all, of course. And so a lot of women feel like we've had to step up or our family will crumble.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just know so many Black women in America who have attitudes. And, I was one of those people too at one point, and I still am a work in progress. But when I grew up, I remember just feeling angry, just
Right.
walking around angry, even as a youth, even as a teenager.
I'm
And
still
so it just
angry. I'm
seems
not
like
gonna lie.
yeah, I am too. I am too at times. I'm trying to get
Mhm. I'm
to
working on it.
a yeah, we're working on it, right? And that's these shows and forums are so important to give resource and to reiterate. Wording is powerful. So just to hear that that's where we need to be is very important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have Sister Anja Africa in the background. I'm gonna bring her on really quick because I love this sister. She has so much great word sounds when she comes on. Greetings, Sister Anja Africa. How are you, sis? Yeah. Are you?
Blessings panel. How you
Yes.
doing?
Great, great, great,
Greetings.
great.
Greetings.
Um, I'm gonna throw you in the realms of the sisterhood.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. So I want you to give me your 3 words of sisterhood that comes to your mind.
Communication, loyalty, eternal bonds.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
it's just like the sisters said, prior to me, the people that I call my sisters are not actually my blood sisters. They are my sisters from other mothers.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a house full of boys. So sisterhood, I was the oldest. So sisterhood was always something that I was kind of searching for. So, when I got to college, I thought the idea of sisterhood was a sorority.
Sorority, yeah, yeah.
So I actually started a chapter on my campus because I went to an all Caucasian Catholic college. I'm a city kid going off to this all Catholic, all women's college.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the kind of the same experience, not a Catholic, but my college was, I was, let me put it this way, in my dorm room, I was, my particular housing apartment, I was the only Black, so.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that was my version of sisterhood, was this whole sorority thing, until I realized that there was this whole color classism
Right,
nonsense that was taking place involved with that. And even culturally as well. You
right,
know,
right.
it was like, you know, Caribbean women and Black American women, all Africans, but somehow managing to find those differences within the group,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know. So, you know, but just to stay on topic, I don't want to go off
You're
topic.
fine, you're fine.
When I saw your questions, immediately it clicked because I had taken a course. It was a course offered by one of the sisters on YouTube called Blackberry Academy.
Mhm.
She did a session on male toxicity. If it was, you know, how does that look in us?
Wait a minute, hold on 1 second. Okay, I had to mute her real quick.
No
Okay, go
problem.
ahead. Mhm.
Yeah, she did a session on male toxicity. How does that look in the female? If it was a good or a bad thing, etc. And, you know, and it was interesting because initially I was like, well, I don't need to take that. You know, it doesn't apply. But I was more intrigued because I have been told many times by males that I've dated that I have masculine qualities.
Mm.
Yeah. And yeah.
I'm not laughing at that, but you know why? Because that's
Mhm.
one of the areas of topics that we were going to hit tonight.
So I always found that interesting, and I, you know, I guess it came from you know, I have the ability to separate my mind from my heart. You know,
I've been told I have a masculine energy as well, Sister Angela, Africa. So
and that's
I
why I
completely
felt.
understand.
So that's why I was like, I need to jump in, you know, because it's not really about you trying to be masculine. It's that
Mhm.
sign of strength that can make our male counterparts feel like they are less than, or that they are inadequate.
Right,
And it's not
right.
intentional, you know, but when you're out here trying to survive and maintain your
Mhm.
home in a broken society, you don't have time for games. You don't have time for half stepping.
Mhm.
And so
You
if
know,
you date someone who is insecure, someone who doesn't have a love for Africa,
mhm.
those are the challenges you will face.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I can intervene for a second, the sister brought up a good point. And I've read this somewhere, saw this somewhere, is that Black women haven't had a chance to be feminine. It's, you know, I think a lot of us want to be feminine, but we haven't had a chance to, because since the beginning of our coming to this new world,
Don't wait for them.
you know, we have
Go to bed
been
now.
in a state of trauma, and a state of, like the sister said, survival mode and making it happen mode. And so we haven't had the luxuries of being feminine.
Mhm.
And then I
Mhm.
think, you know, and just to go back, like, what does it mean to be feminine? What
Mm-hmm.
does that
Right,
mean? Does that mean that you have to be quiet and obedient
right.
and not have a voice? Because I don't think that's what feminine means. For me, feminine is, guess what? I get to wear dresses on special occasions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, you know, I don't think that I'm equal to a male, but I would
Right,
like to think that he has his role to play and I have my role to play.
Mm-hmm.
right,
You know,
right.
and I have no problem following my male lead as long as it's done with respect.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I have to
Mm-hmm.
respect you, first of all, like that's the key.
That and that's one of the biggest problems that I've found, is I haven't come into a lot of I haven't come into the presence of enough men that I felt that I could respect. You know, like I sit back and I watch and I'm like, if I have to take you as my head, I need to be able to respect you. And if I can't respect you, I can't do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
I can't do it.
location is a big part of that as well. You know, like I can tell you that I live in a place where there are not a lot of, you know, Black men. There just aren't. And the few that are here, you know, I just would not advise anyone who is single to live in this community. Quite
Mm,
honestly, you know, I live in Reading, Pennsylvania. And so a lot of the brothers
Mm,
that you see here are coming out of the Berks County prison system.
mm,
You
mm,
know, they have histories of AA, and you know, there's a lot of baggage that comes with that kind of vibe if it's not something that you're used to,
mm,
mhm,
you know.
yeah.
And when I came to this environment, I did not come here single. I came here with my husband and my young child.
mhm,
You know, but when you move out of cities and you move to like suburban areas, you know, away from everything, away from all the distractions, you really get to see who you're with,
Right,
mhm,
right,
mhm,
right.
especially if that person is not strong or consistent. You know, you really get to see, and you got to really say, do I like this person? I
mhm,
thought I liked you when all the distractions were around, but now I get to really see who you are.
Hmm. Sister Amina, she says we can't afford to fail because in a lot of cases the roles have reversed,
mhm.
and then we are criticized for being to playing the roles we didn't ask for.
It's true.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good
It's
one.
true.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good one.
Um,
Mhm,
I had a recent conversation with my daughters, and it took them to become adults where they used to always say, "Mommy, we thought you were bipolar." And I was like, "What do you mean?" They said, "Because one minute you would be because they saw that I had to be the disciplinary and then the nurturer, and it was
mhm,
like, that those are polar opposite, and so that can make one person look a lot. So I was like literally trying to do everything,
mhm,
and it's like now with me being an empty nester, they can kind of see how I am naturally all the time because I don't have to play
mhm,
two roles. Now I can just play the role that I was born to play is a mother, a
mhm,
nurturer, an educator, a healer, um, you know, uh, uh, also still a disciplinarian, but in a different way. I had to take on more of a masculine role when I was
mhm,
rearing my children at a smaller age because I had no room for error with them.
mhm, mhm. Right,
Yeah. And I did not want that role by
right,
any means.
right.
I did not want that role at all.
Mhm,
Sister
mhm,
Ajwa, you're blessed to have a beautiful marriage, a long-standing relationship,
Mhm.
an amazing husband.
mhm,
But the roles are kind of not traditions. So I know, like what the what society considers like how each a marriage should look. But to me, it's a perfect marriage. I love it. And in regards to dealing with
Gives
your situation as a woman in that and having a partner, have you been forced with those same challenges?
no doubt, no doubt. I'd like to consider myself more defensive and no nonsense than angry. Um, because angry is kind of some
Mm-hmm.
giving people some power over me, to kind of they can even I can even be manipulated if I give people that much power over me. And I like to say what I mean. I like to mean what I say. I like to stay fit. Um, I don't know. I have my closest sibling to me is a brother, and he was really tough. So I've always been kind of a toughie. It's always been important to me to be strong and fit and able to run and fight,
Mm-hmm.
just in case I needed to, not because I am an aggressor in word or deed, but sometimes we just have to stand up for our rights, and sometimes that's a physical stand. And
Mm-hmm.
mine isn't a perfect life, but it's a blessed life still, where each and every day I'm thankful, and each and every day I'm growing and I'm learning. Um, and I think every situation is a give and take. You know, I too, you say our roles have been reversed. So I have been a breadwinner. My husband has been, you know, in home, nurturing, cooking, cleaning, doing that type of stuff while I've been out making bread. And it's not really what we'd want, it's just how things have manifest. And we just going um, with what we have in hand while we work toward what we'd like to have still.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
Hmm. You know, it comes in so many different um, forms of what we're dealing with. You know, just this superwoman that we have to deal with living in Babylon, to be honest, because
Mhm.
Babylon is definitely against family. It's not set up for
Mhm.
family. It's always been about the destruction of the family, especially the Black family.
Mhm.
And so, you know, for me personally, I see this has been a long, like a ongoing thing that has been getting stronger and stronger within this community here. So
Mhm.
it's going to take a powerful community to start working together to break that chain, because this is a chain that has been created not by us. Because when I go to the continent and I see how families work over there, it's not, I can't even relate, you
Mhm.
know, because there's so much dysfunction here. Brother
Mhm.
Hakeem, from a brother perspective, and you have
Mm-hmm.
a lovely wife, and guys, that if you all saw, if you go back to the beginning, I did my first commercial. It wasn't like a bling bling commercial, but I did a little, you know, but it was for his wife.
It was to my ears.
I hope it
Mm,
worked. I'll share it at the end. But you know,
absolutely.
watching your wife, how do you see when you're reflecting and looking at her and this beautiful woman that you've been blessed with? You know, do you see that
Hmm.
Superwoman cape on her as well?
I do. I kind of put it on her. But it stems from me watching my parents when I was younger. Like my parents were together till I was about 10. And it was a dream team kind of relationship. Everybody admired, and they were like the star of the area wherever we were. Um, that put into me a desire to have the same kind of relationship. Um, but when my dad left for about 6 years, I was sitting there waiting for him to come back.
Mm.
So that gave me the other side of that, and the interrupted, like things like I never learned how to play basketball because I was waiting for him to teach me,
Hmm.
and that time came and went, and I didn't. Sorry about that, getting a call. Um, yeah, so I got both sides of it, and I from an early age I didn't want to repeat those things that I felt. I knew that there was some suffrage in there that I didn't need, and I wouldn't have had my father have maybe just kept my mom and I and my sister as a family of a co-family kind of thing, and he kind of
Mhm.
cut out his future wife and our family, and we might not have dropped the way we did drop, not having him there. So from those experiences, I developed the life that I wanted, and I'm living it now.
Hmm.
And I tell you that my wife meets me way more than halfway. She meets me like 100%. We both meet each other 100% in, and that makes it even easier. And
Hmm.
the last step to that was I had to adjust my desires and I guess my criteria had to adjust because it was a little immature, in
Right.
my earlier years, wanting some ideal standards that weren't realistic. And when I realized that, I was able to work on myself so I could reflect some of those attributes that I wanted in a woman. I had to see in myself. And when I did those things, I didn't have to use my eyes anymore to choose. It was, God just brought her right to me. And she
Hmm.
was there the whole time. So, I could have foregone a lot of hardship before that, if I would have just focused a little earlier.
Yeah, that's been a lot of our issues. I know focus for me has been very hard with so many distractions. Being pulled in so many ways that sometimes I just couldn't see. I couldn't take time to smell the herbs and observe the sky and see a friendly smile because I was distracted. So distraction can make us miss out on something really great
Slow it
sometimes.
down, yeah.
Yeah. So, question, guys.
Mhm.
So what are some of the things that you all are practicing to or not practicing? Well, we all are always practicing, but what are some of your coping with the stress? Like, do you feel being a superwoman has been a negative or a positive for your wellness and your mental wellness and your physical wellness? What are the things are you doing to offset just having to be, that everything? Because when I was reading that description of a superwoman, I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. I said I want to be that woman, because for me, being a superwoman was a stressful thing. It wasn't something that was making me feel good. It was something I didn't want to be. I was looking at it as a negative.
Where did that definition come from?
Um, I'll have to look it up again. I cannot
Okay,
because I can't remember what resource I used.
no problem. Because I was thinking, was it European or was it African?
It was definitely European. I can tell you
Okay,
that.
and I'm only saying that
I
because
can definitely tell you that.
most of the super women I know, they don't get to rest. They don't get to
And
take
yeah,
time for themselves. So when I
Exactly.
was
that's why I
listening
said
to
it
you,
wasn't that for me. I said that's what I want. I want that kind of superwoman.
Right.
Because when me
Right.
and Aishi were talking about it, I was kind of like, you know, that we were on the same page. Like, what were you saying about about the superwoman? I don't want to repeat your words, Aishi.
Well, when I saw the definition, I was like, wait a minute, that's,
She was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. And I'm like,
you
what,
changing the
Ashley? I said, well, this
narrative
is, no.
because this
I
is
said,
not,
she said, you done changed it. I said, no, 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 no. I said, this is
yeah,
the definition that I found. I just wanted
you
to
just made it sound very positive. And quite honestly,
yeah,
when I've heard it used for us, it
it's
hasn't been
very
used as
valid.
a positive thing. It's
I,
like
Exactly.
it's like you're doing the most. You're trying
Exactly.
to be the
exactly.
super, and
Exactly.
you're like, I'm not really. I have no
Yeah.
choice but to get
Yeah.
these things done. You
Yeah.
And
know,
yeah, and that's why I wanted to pull that definition, because like I said, the whole time when we thought about this series, this particular show, it was, the negative. That's all we could think. We were like, we're gonna take this cape off. But that's
Mhm.
how I thought. So as I was, I like to do notes because I like to stay on track. So as I was doing research on the notes, I was like, oh, well, I like this definition. I said, I want to be that girl.
Uh-huh.
but aren't we? But when you think about it, aren't we really just supermen, super
Oh,
women, and supermen?
yes.
Mhm.
Because,
Look, I
because
want
you.
to add
Mhm.
this sister on really quick. I
Oh,
know
go
she
ahead.
tried popping on. I want her to just say hi. Hi,
Hello.
Giselle. How are you,
Hi.
sis?
My
Do me a
stomach upset, but
favor.
I had to come support you.
Yeah.
Give me 3 words really quick. I didn't know if you like wanted to hop on and hop off, but I was like, let me get her
Yeah.
on here real quick. Give me your 3 sisterhood words, sis.
Three
Sisterhood
sisters.
words, your description. What 3 words come into your mind when you think of sisterhood?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we gotta
Boy.
think about it.
Okay. Okay, you said 3 words. A bond. I don't know if this is 3 words though. A bond that can't be broken. That's
A
probably
bond
more
that
than
can't be broken. Okay. Okay.
that's probably more than 3 words though,
No,
but
no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring you on really quick. And please, family, share the live. Please share the live. And
yes,
like when
will
you
do.
come on, please share because as we grow, and we can really explore more things because the goal of this channel is for us to help and heal and work through things and get ourselves right because I'm seeing our community is very twisted and a lot of us are on a repat journey and we cannot go over there with that nonsense.
Right.
All
Exactly.
right.
I think I was saying right before the sister came in about how can we not be this way? You know, I think automatically we are super women and super men, not even intentionally,
Right.
just because we are so multi-talented. You know, like when I'm talking to brothers and sisters and they telling me, oh yeah, I paint, I do poetry, I'm a carpenter, I'm like, but you only got, but in the States, you're made to feel like you can only focus on one thing. You can't be the most,
Mm-hmm.
but we are the most.
Most.
So why
Right.
aren't we able to just be that way and be accepted that way?
Right.
So quite honestly, I'm looking forward to going to the continent because I'm tired of being put in a box.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of working with people who, and I don't mean to be mean, but I feel like they are inferior. And I think it comes out in my attitude. Because bottom line, I don't understand how I can have more pieces of paper than the people that are supervising me, you know, or how I can make less than someone who obviously does not have the same qualifications, but is using my credentials to get their jobs done.
Mm.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be the most, and I'm going to be the most on the continent because I've had enough.
Right. Right.
And if that means being super, then that's what it is. But I don't really see that men in Africa, just from friends that I have, as well as people I know there, have the same issues that we have here as far as a woman's, if it's viewed as a woman's masculinity. I don't think they don't see it that way. There are so many strong women. Women
They
are in
don't
the
want
market. Women are, I think
Yeah,
they,
you just described
Absolutely.
Nigerian women and
No doubt.
Jamaican women and
Yes.
this is it. It's only
But
here that it's
No
made
doubt.
like an issue between men and women, like just further fuel to separating us as families and as, you know, as a culture.
mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion on it.
yep, it's a
It,
spell.
it seems to me that you're. It seems to me that you're
Mm-hmm.
aspiring to be yourself. You just want to be yourself. You want to come with what you come with, and your talent and skills. My talent and skill sets are very diverse. I make no apologies, and we just have to stand firm on. And Nina Simone, in one of her songs, she's a hero of mine. She says a line that goes something like, I wish I can do all the things that I can do. Although it's long overdue,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be starting anew. We are limited because people are intimidated by us. And when you shine your light and your light shines blind, some people are blinded by it. And so they try to put their
And see
insecurities on
exactly
you.
what you said. I call it people trying to dim your light, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me
So,
for not saying hello to everybody. Sorry as I went in. Hello, everyone.
of
You did.
course.
Good evening.
Of course. So what are your thoughts on this, Giselle? Definitely. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you have a cape on?
Oh, well, I have a cape on in the house, but in my household, yeah. Um, I kind of, came in a little late. I didn't hear the
Oh,
whole
okay. So
conversation.
we're talking about the Superwoman. We're, us being Superwoman, doing it all. And I have read a definition. The definition was very positive, and all of us had like more of a negative connotation when it came to being a Superwoman. So, and it hits us in so many areas of our life. It hits us with our mental health, our wellness. It can affect our relationship. It can affect our friendships. It can affect us in so many areas because, I don't know what it is about us Black women, but it's like if we, you know, I've had people tell me you're doing the most. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm living my life. If I do my jewelry, if I knit, if I crochet, if I make clothes, if I cut hair, I mean, these are things that I enjoy to do and I do them well, but I'm doing the most. I'm trying to be, it's like you can't naturally flow the way you flow.
Well, can I intervene, Kiddes? I'm sorry. I think there's a difference. We all know that a lot of us are multi-talented, right? And I think having talents, that's different than being overwhelmed and being the mammy and the mule and taking on all these roles unnecessarily, or feeling like we have to do everything. I think, to me, I see that as a little bit different, a lot different, as having talents,
right,
versus, you know what I mean? And I think Black women, from, like I said earlier, beginning of time, even during slavery, we've had to do it all since then. And we've never kind of shaken off that role. Like, it's okay to delegate duties to other people. It's okay to say no. It's okay to rest in your feminine energy, which the sister said, we still trying to figure out and define that, right?
Right.
Because we've never had a chance to rest in our feminine energy. So it's okay to say we don't know what is that, what is being feminine, and what does that look like? And I think we're still trying to figure that out. So here again, I think there's nothing wrong with having multiple talents and skills. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think when we start to gear into doing too much in terms of just taking on all these tasks, and it affects us health-wise. We're very angry. I've gone to places where I've met a lot of beautiful, wonderful sisters who looked out for me, who've helped me, but I've also met the sisters, and maybe we have been that way at some point too, where we're just angry. So I want to differentiate those two things.
Yeah, it's definitely a difference.
Yeah, I actually had a discussion with a friend earlier about something like what you're saying, like where it affects your mental health, or where it could put you in a bad place mentally. She was talking about, a situation with her sister, and and I just kind of said to her, like, don't you think that's the situation that you need to let her live her life? Like, you can't live her life for her. She needs to go through her trials and tribulations. Well, what about my niece? I'm like, okay, well, is your niece in danger? Is your niece being abused? Like, you might not raise her that way, but if you can't say that there's an issue there, you need to back off, because we are at a point in our lives where it affects our heart. Like, internally, it puts you in a bad place, and then it can cause you that mental anguish. And she just, and then she called me back later to tell me, you were right. She did do. I said, but yeah, you keep holding her by the apron strings, but then you complain about her the whole time. And I think that's hard, like, especially when you feel like you're an older sibling, or you've been the responsible one in your family. You kind of feel responsible for everyone else, and I'm like, but there's a time when you have to be like, enough is enough.
That's right. That's right.
And you let people, when they need you, they'll let you know, but you can't put yourself in their situations.
Yes.
And I learned that the hard way. Being the older sibling, it was the same thing. You have to know when to kind of step out.
Yeah, I've had to do that. I've had to, like, to the point where I could just feel myself like just losing it, and I just have to say, you know what, you're gonna have to figure out how to do this on your own. Like, I can't take on that and try to run my household at the same time. It's just, this happened like probably a couple of weeks ago. I was going through that, and I had to just shut it down, because everybody wants to come, run to me like I'm their savior to do this and do that. Uh-uh.
That's
I think
right.
Sorry.
can you picture what they would do if you didn't step in?
Right. That's
Like
true.
that's the question we never ask ourselves. We always jumping to the rescue, but what would they do? How would they
Exactly.
survive if you didn't step in and give your time and energy?
Very true. Very true.
That's
And you
right.
can give so much of your energy until you have nothing left.
Right.
Nothing
Right.
left. You're physically, emotionally drained.
You
That's
know,
right.
I
it affects your mental health. I know, I remember, I learned this behavior very young, and I think a lot of us learned this behavior young, because you're kind of forced to learn it. One of the most precious people, in my life when I was younger passed away. My mother. I was, a new mom, and to this day, I just remember this. I had my son. At that time, me and his father were, having some major court issues. And so at her funeral, I'm there. I'm going through all the motions, just everything that's going on. And I remember sitting in the funeral home, holding my son, and I just started hearing people around me say, "Take that baby from her. I haven't seen that girl cry once. Take that baby from," and I didn't even realize that I was acting like everything was normal, because I was like, I still had to make sure I had to work. I was worrying about this, worrying about my son. I was worrying about everybody but me. And I didn't even have time to mourn my mother, my beautiful mother, I always do this. I always talk about something that's going to make me cry.
Well,
I'm
you
sorry,
got to
guys.
make me
And it's
cry.
okay. It's
Oh
okay
my.
though. That's the
Well, we
thing.
all
It's
mourn differently,
I'm trying to hold. I'm like
okay.
this. I'm trying to hold it
It's
together. That's just
okay.
something that we do. It's
but
just,
tears
Yeah.
are cleansing.
Yes, they sure are, and it's okay. That's another thing. I grew up, in DC. You were taught, oh, you don't cry, you got to be tough. Yes, I do cry, and I need to cry, and it's natural to cry. Like,
right.
you
And
gotta get
that's
it
one of the things
out.
we don't take these normal things. Because let me tell you, when they took my son from me, my firstborn, it was almost like a relief. The next day, once I didn't see him anywhere in my circle, they just snatched him out my arm. I fell out. I
Wow.
cried and I fell out, and and the emotions flow, and I just felt all this
Really.
pressure
Right.
came
Right.
off of me. And we don't do that enough. We don't have it's almost like in this country, you really kind of don't have if you don't have a good circle around you,
right,
Yep.
people who are in tune to you,
right,
and people who are reminding you
right.
Yes.
to, like sister. And that's why and that was a very valuable lesson for me, because my aunts were all in tune to me and knew
That's a
I
beautiful.
needed I needed to let that go. And I've surrounded myself with people, women, who are that reminder for me again. But so many of us, because there's a lot of young mothers and what have you, are out here now, and we're like I'm going to include everybody on here. We're like the elders. So we know this knowledge and information, so we have to share. Like, we got to help each other share that information. Like, how do you find that release? How do you take care of your mental health? How are you taking care of those things so that you don't start affecting you physically?
Exactly.
And see, this is why I started planning too. I really didn't realize how therapeutic it was for me, and I'm actually enjoying it because I had to find some way of,
What do you
calming
do?
myself down.
What do you do, sis?
Oh,
You
I started planting.
oh, so you garden?
Yes, I just
Oh,
started gardening.
yeah, me too.
Um, And it's, oh my gosh, I really didn't realize how relaxing it really was.
Right.
Mhm.
So I
Something
started,
about your hands in the dirt.
Look, I'm enjoying
yes,
watching. I keep saying I need to get in the dirt.
But
yes,
Definitely.
because
I have to watch her.
I don't know.
my kids were like,
Days,
Mom, use gloves. You know,
right.
my kids were like, use gloves. And I'm like, no, I don't want to use these gloves, you know, because I have it on video now on YouTube. I'm like, no, I want my hands to get dirty and get in there. And it's so refreshing. Like, I really would recommend, you know,
Gardening.
anybody to do it. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
charity begins at home, and we have to learn how to do self-care, unapologetically do self-care, and do the things
Yes.
that we enjoy, and then that way we can even give of ourselves in a more fuller way. uh,
Yes.
Not giving it to the bone, but giving it in a way that is edifying, of the goodness we feel. One consonant's brightening another. We can pass that on.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
I really enjoy playing tennis. Are you any of you all tennis players out there?
Yes.
was
I
a
like hitting
long
that
time
ball.
ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I was saying the other day to Aisha, I said I want to go throw some hatchets. You know
Yes,
those hatchet
that's a
throws.
stress
I want
reliever.
to throw that. Get that like, like,
Yes,
I
like.
can
yes,
hit
Cause
a,
I'm
hit
like
a
right now
golf ball.
I do the gun range. Like I'm loving my
that's a
Okay, I'm
the
beautiful
so glad
AR-15.
thing.
you said. I'm so glad you said that
Oh
because
my
I do
God, the
too.
gun range, I love it. I like shooting that Glock 17.
Okay,
They
I
just
thought. Okay, good. Me and you here, Chloe.
yeah, that's like
It's always the people that look all quiet and nice, right?
You know
That want
what?
to blast
I was
off.
gonna be. I wasn't gonna say anything. So I'm so glad that
I'm
Chloe
into the
mentioned
guns
it.
now. I love them.
Okay, me too. Okay, good.
Now,
We're
see,
I'm
here.
I
like
used
sitting here trying to
to.
figure out like I need to bring a rifle and
Oh my goodness.
I
See,
Yeah.
but
told
my
my
thing is
husband, I'm
old
like, we
school
gotta go back
karate
to the gun
flicks.
range.
Yeah, I love old school karate flicks.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
right
that
now
kid
watching
jumping off the couch.
Warrior. Have you watched Warrior? That
I
is
uh-uh.
have. That's
the
more
Bruce
recent.
Lee series that he wrote before he passed away.
Yes, yes,
I might
yeah,
have, yeah. I might have.
It's good.
yeah.
Oh
It's
my
good.
goodness, Lola. Wow. Yes, me and you are here.
Yes, yes, yes. And don't let it fool you.
I didn't know if you wanted me to
Dangerous.
I
say that
got
or
your
not.
look. I got your back.
Yeah.
Good.
I know who to call.
That's what's up.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And you know what? It's funny. I used to be afraid, of it, but my husband used to serve in the service. So he's been, teaching me, and he took me to the first time, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what I've been missing. It is so much fun. Like I
He
love it.
woke
I
up
really enjoy
something
it.
in you. Woke up
Yes.
something in you
Yes.
with that. Now, see, I took the exam for the New York City Police Department
Oh wow.
Mm.
I can see
many
you doing
years
that.
ago, and I passed it. Jumped a 6-foot fence, dragged the body 50 yards,
See,
had
we got
to
you
run
see
and all
you
this
see all
kind
this
of stuff.
masculinity energy that we have.
But why
Yeah.
is it considered masculine to be strong? This is what I don't understand.
I think it's a thin line, right? So I feel like because of the nature and the climate that we're in, we have to have those skills because sometimes people are not married or married anymore, and we don't have, some people don't have that. But I think there's a beauty in femininity, right? And I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I was a tomboy growing up, you know, because I grew up around boys. I wanted to
Me
hang out
too.
with them. I wanted to be
Tomboy.
with them. Yeah, and it's funny because when people see me now, I got my earrings on, my lipstick. I love being feminine. Like I love that feminine energy, and it took
Yeah.
me, time to get here. But I've got more. You guys heard the saying, "You get more bees with honey than with vinegar." When I tell you, I had masculine energy to me, and it's not our fault, right? Like we shouldn't be punished for it because we're just dealing with what we got. Right?
Right.
Like we don't mean to be that way. We don't want to be that way. We're dealing with what we have in
Right.
our environment. However, I
Right.
think it's good to have a balance. I think it's good to have those skills. You should
Definitely.
know how to, right? You should know how to have a deal with a gun in case your husband. First of all, even if you're married, he's not going to be around all the time. It's going to be times where you go places by yourself. So I think you should have those skills and those tools, and you know, in your back pocket, but also have a femininity to you too, right?
Yes.
Well, I think Kiddes pulls it off well.
Say it again.
I think Kiddes pulls it off well.
Right. She'll shoot you and be real feminine with you at the same time. She have a pink gun. She gonna put out a pink gun. So,
Exactly.
And
I heard you went to the class too. I went to the class too. So
I'm HQL.
All right.
What is that? Just a certification?
Handgun qualified.
Okay.
I'll be doing mine December. So
okay.
I
just told my son he turned 18 that I was going to take him to the gun range.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the range, so that you know that's my little gift to him.
Yeah,
I'm
ready to go back. I like, you know, I if I have to pick between a gun and a rifle, it's definitely the rifle all day long.
Really? Oh, look at you! Oh my goodness!
I'm a sharpshooter.
I was going to say this distance with that.
I'm a sharpshooter. I hit the targets.
I know that's
distance.
Look, let me find out.
I enjoy it. Oh my god! You know what else, ladies? I don't know if you do this too. Like when you're feeling down and out, like, do you like to just kind of even if you're not really necessarily going anywhere, just to get up and just put some lipstick on and you know, put on your nice dress?
I'm sorry, I lost it with the pandemic. There was a time you would not see me without earrings, okay? I did not leave my house without earrings or lipstick. You catch me now, I'm like, what? I'm in the house. And if I run outside, I got a mask on. I ain't wasting my good lipstick under
and
mask.
Before the COVID.
Exactly. It's kind of like, I'm looking like I told you, I was out the other day, a couple of times it happened to me. And someone recognized me from online, and they were like, "What happened to that? What happened to that girl online?" I'm like, what's going on? I was looking crazy, head all over. I was like, you know, look. Wait a minute. Let me read some of these comments. I'm sorry, I fell behind the comments really quick. Greetings, Deanna Inspires. Welcome. I didn't see her. She said, "Love this conversation." Me too. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Yahya. Welcome to my platform. He says the cries of purification and the confirmation of your humanity. I love Sheikh Yahya. He always comes with some powerful word sounds. Kisu Isoki, Global Green Book, Ancestral Powers, Blessings, A1 Family, Greetings. And of course, my brother, the THC. I know it's late there. He's in Gambia. That's dedication. Peace to you, brother. It's great seeing such a positive and uplifting conversation. Thank you. I appreciate love that. Karate Kicks Black Belt Theater in the early 80s was lit. Yes,
you already know.
Kung Fu Sunday.
5 Deadly Drunkards. The Drunken Master. Like, I'm going all the way back. Okay.
Yes.
I took karate, but I only stayed in the white belt, so that's not my.
Amina's with us. She loves the gun range as well. Like, these are all great. I'm sorry, it's a stress relief. It's a stress reliever. You know,
we have to start a club when we get on the continent. Even folks that are visiting, we should have a gun club for women.
Yes, because people keep saying, you know, you can't have guns and you can't have guns, but you know, I've been doing my research because, you know, I believe in my Second Amendment. And so, but you have to go through a licensing process, and you can't have like handguns, I think, but you can have a rifle. But I think, you know, but I'm seeing, but different countries have different regulations in regards to, but the one thing I'm seeing is if you have to get it licensed, and I guess you got to get approved for why you're going to have it.
Right. So if you had a licensed
Okay.
facility like a range or something like that, would that be permitted? Do they have gun clubs?
Cubs, and that's something to look into. That's another and also a business
That's another
opportunity
business
because
opportunity. Yep,
it's a
exactly.
safe place, and then it, and look at it, we're people who understand it. We know the laws, and we know how to handle it. And you start a business like that, and get the proper location. Hey,
Yep.
a safe
My
place.
husband had mentioned that too.
A safe
Yeah,
And
that
a
would
place.
lot of
be perfect.
military trained people that will be on the
Exactly.
continent that could advise, be consultants,
Exactly.
run the
Yes.
classes. I think that would be amazing.
That would be amazing,
Yes.
because
Yes.
especially there's a large diaspora community coming, and we love our guns.
But even with
Oh,
the women
yes,
there,
we
there are
do.
so many young women that have had to deal with assaults just because they don't know simple
Right.
self-defense.
Self defense,
Right.
And
And that's
that's
where
I
we
right.
think
could
if
come
you,
in and help teach. Yeah.
And I've heard some terrible assaults that have happened there, like
Mm.
terrible, within your own home, because
Right.
it happens. There's always some creature somewhere, no matter
Oh,
where you are in the world. So
exactly.
self-defense is definitely something good we could look into.
Exactly.
While the family came in, I appreciate love everyone coming in. Sheikh Yahya says, being a superwoman erodes the natural femininity. It creates an imbalance. I,
I can respect that perspective.
I can't even disagree with it. And the
Mm.
problem, that's one of our issues over here, Sheikh Yahya, that we're talking about. Is almost like we're forced to be in that position.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of like, how can I say it? I don't know if this is the right word for it. It's kind of like it's almost forced in a sense, in certain situations.
You're just
Mm,
not given an option. You
Right.
know,
mhm,
Maybe.
if
Yeah.
you're
Right.
truly a
Exactly.
responsible, mature person, you're not really given an option about how you're going to proceed. If you're going
mm,
to take care of your family and you're going to do the things that you need to do, and there is not a male present that is ready to step into that role, see, that's key, right? You know, we could say
Right.
that there's an imbalance if there's a male present that wants
Right.
to be in that role, but we
Right.
know oftentimes that is not the case because some of our brothers are broken. They are
mhm.
broken, and raising your children oftentimes is raising them as well.
Right, right. I want to introduce Empress Kisu. Greetings, Empress Kisu. How are you, sis? Oh, is she on? Her mic off? Okay, she must have stepped away from her mic. When she comes back.
Okay, ladies, I'm putting my cape on now. I have to go pick my daughter up from work. But
So do me a favor, Sister Ajua. Just tell
thank you.
everyone how they can reach you, and
Okay. I could put out my email. It's the numeral one, peaceworks@gmail.com.
Okay.
That's one PEACE WORKS@gmail.com. I will be coming to the city. I have a daughter who goes to Howard. And when I do come to the city, I will have balls and rackets. And anyone that wants to learn how to hit tennis balls, we can go
I'm
and
down. I'm
it's a
down.
COVID friendly sport. It's no contact. So you don't have to worry about that. And
Very
once
nice.
you learn how to do it, you can do it until you're very old, and
Mm.
it's gratifying. It's like I don't have a gun, but I can sure enough teach you
No.
how to smack the shit out of a baseball. And I'll leave it
Yes.
at
All
that.
right.
Take
Yes.
care.
All right. Thank you,
All
Sister
right.
Ajua. Have a blessed one.
Bye bye. All
Yeah,
right, Global Green.
that's a long time sister of mine. She's been a blessing to my family.
I'm gonna bounce out because I'm gonna finish this ginger and work on my stomach. So, but I wanted to come in and show you guys some love. This has been wonderful. We'll
Um,
stay longer. My
I have a
stomach
quick
will.
question, Giselle, before you go. You
Yeah.
said you're working out,
No, no. I was saying I do. I plant. I'm a garden. I'm doing gardening now.
right?
But no, I was saying. I used to do water aerobics. before COVID and everything came up.
Okay,
But
I thought I heard you say you were gonna do some ginger and work on your stomach.
yeah, I'm drinking some ginger. And my stomach,
Oh,
no, my stomach's upset.
oh,
Okay,
that's right.
okay.
You did tell me that. I hope you feel better.
Yeah, but
Yeah, them ginger definitely should help it.
Feel
yeah,
better.
so thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Giselle. I
Okay,
appreciate
bye,
love you.
everybody. Yes, me too. Bye, everybody.
All right. I'm laughing here. The blind guy, his wife, their life. Hey, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've been to the gun range, but didn't care so much for it. We
I
went
think
several
that's
times,
kiki.
but
That have
kudos
to be
to you to get
Quee.
it play. Yeah. You did, and I like it. So she said, "Kudos to us." I love the gun range. To me, it was very addictive. I think because it was like I felt like that frustration was leaving me. It was just gone because I could just. It was a stress reliever because I sometimes we just don't have time to release that stress, whether it's exercising or whatever it is that because just go 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 go. I know for me, I'm always going. So now I'm learning to take time to relax myself and kind of take that stress off because I used to walk around with big knots right here all the time.
Yeah, I know
So
what you
now,
mean.
yeah, so now doing those type of activities, I'm enjoying. It's like 20 something years of stress piled up on me that I'm finally kind of releasing. I'm really want to focus on getting that balance back into myself before I even think about transplanting myself into a different culture.
You know, a great way to kind of release some stress, I believe, to kind of decompress is
Hmm
to get rid of the television,
you know what I call it? The television.
the boob tube,
Hmm
the dummy
Now
box.
that's definitely a great one. One of the things I used to always do is when I would come in, you would never find a TV in my house, but there would be a TV there. I always covered it so that you could not see it. So like when my kids or what have you came in, they didn't know that wasn't the first thing they zoomed in because they didn't notice. It looked like a decoration, and I did that on purpose
But
because
you know what's so funny though? You know how long it took for me to step out of the matrix and say, I don't have to watch this. I would argue with the cable company, like, why do you have me paying for channels that I don't even want to watch? That watching people who don't look like me. I don't want these channels. Can I just have BET? Can I just have and then I realized all of these programs were controlled by people that I didn't want to have be privy to.
I lost interest in BET a long time ago when
Once
they
they
got
sold,
when I because you saw the content change almost like this
yeah, yeah. And it became
instantaneously.
okay to show certain images and to expose our children to things that we may not have wanted them exposed to. It's just like you didn't have a choice, but you were paying for it, and you were paying for it every month, like
Mm-hmm.
clockwork. And I finally was just like, you know what? I'm going to take this box back. And I
Mm-hmm.
just handed my boxes in because you know what they do? They catch you with the deals that hook your internet and your TV.
Yeah, I think I ended up the few times that I did end up with cable, it was because of the I think it was the TV of the phone
Mm-hmm.
and internet or something. And
Yeah.
then finally I just said I don't want any of it. But when I put when I put my children in public school because at that time, they were homeschooled. So
Mm-hmm.
at one point, I put them. It was what was it, middle school? I can't remember what school it was. But when I put them in public school, they were forcing me to get a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I think you can just give them their homework. And they were like, no, they got to do their homework on the
On a
computer.
computer.
And I would just
Mm-hmm.
tell them, I said, well, I can't afford it. I just told them, and they were like, well, they were so anxious for us to have it that they paid for my internet. So from all my children's high school career, I only paid like $10 a month for
Well, even
internet.
even the cable company was in cohorts with the school, with the education system, because they started offering those special packages just for the
Mm-hmm.
kids.
Kids.
So just a way to keep the conditioning going. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we have to maintain these people. We have to manage them.
Yeah, and
And
that's
so,
what happened.
yeah, so I just finally got rid of it. And I love YouTube for the simple reason that I am able to see people who look like me. But now I've discovered how that runs, as far as who controls it and how they put people in the timeout box and all this other stuff.
Oh,
And
I've
I'm
been in
moving away from
timeout.
that. There you go. And I don't like that either. So
I've
when
been in timeout.
I heard about another platform that is Black owned, and I'm trying to move my way to there. But all of
Yeah,
you amazing people are still here, so I'll be in to visit. But when I
yeah,
start my
I have it.
channel,
I
it'll
have
be
it
over
right
there.
here. It's
Habibi,
uh
Habibi Tumi.
a Batum. I've been on their platform for a few years now, but I had some when I first was trying to move over there. It was it was because I was a mom and I didn't have the time to really figure out how to get it set up. So
Yeah, it's
I
not as easy for people that are not tech savvy. So I think
yeah.
the brother probably needs to do. I'm hoping he does a some sort of training or
Hmm.
tutorial to kind of walk you through the process, because a
Yeah.
number of us have different businesses that we're trying to move to that platform.
Yeah, because
You know,
I've been looking at it for a few years, and I have and I said, well, let me go back and now it has been upgraded a lot. It's a lot more streamlined and it's easier on. Before it was not that easy to look at and maneuver through it, but so I'm seeing a lot of changes, a lot of really good changes. So
but
I said, okay.
something goes through my mind, and maybe you can answer this question for me. Why would we delay moving to a platform like that because the challenge is, but we stay where it's easy and we know it's not for us?
Well, I'm gonna tell you for what for me what happened is it was really like I just didn't know I just don't know how to do it. Like I was trying to figure out like how do it took me a long time to even figure out how to put an avatar up on it. And then it was like, okay, then I was trying to figure like how do I do the videos and how do I upload? It's more like logistics. And then so sitting
See, here
down,
you have the support.
yeah. Yeah, you don't have to, it's very little you have to do. So I seen he did a lot of upgrades and changes to it. So I said when I have some time where I can just sit for, because I still like my stuff is very streamlined right now. So it's very easy for me. And I've been on YouTube I've only had this channel for like 3 months, but I've been on YouTube for about 6 years.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
I've been
learning from all of you. I'm learning from everyone. I subscribe to so many people, but there are very few people that I actually set my little timer, my reminder for.
alhamdulillah.
You
Am I
know,
one of those
yes,
people?
you are. You are.
Thank you. So, but yeah, I've been on YouTube for about 6 years, but I used it mainly for like I have a MLM, so I used it as a training site for my MLM, and then I was like, I was thinking about incorporating it to my blog just for videos for my blog. Somebody's
Is someone
echoing.
else here?
Yes,
Yeah.
Empress Kiso is here. I just didn't want to cut off anyone. Blessed love
Oh,
Oh,
family.
Empress, you're
welcome.
so good.
Wait a minute, Empress Key. So, do you have like a extra device open? Because
Yes.
I hear
What should I do?
echoing.
Okay, let me put my
Can you turn
headphones
off the
on.
extra?
Hold on.
Yeah, turn off the extra device.
Or she
Okay.
can mute YouTube and then come back to StreamYard.
Okay, here it goes.
She got it.
Okay, I had to put my headset in. I had you on and I didn't know that that was going to cause an echo.
Assalamualaikum. Welcome, sister Sammy. Sammy Treasure is here. Welcome.
Blessed love Sammy, blessed love Kiddis, and blessed love Green Book, and sister with the glasses. I don't know your name. I can't see it on the screen.
Anja.
Anjang.
That's
Okay, I love that.
Anja Africa. Greetings, Empress Kisu. Can you just do me one favor? Can you just share with us three descriptive words that come to your head when you think of sisterhood?
The first thing is loyalty. That is the most
You
important
said this.
thing. As mothers, as sisters, as mothers with our children, we have to be loyal. As sisters with other men, we have to be loyal. Like sisters need to understand that the whole family and the whole school and the whole village falls if we become catty. We have to be loyal. It's not an option. Our children will not survive if we're not loyal to each other first. If we're not loyal to each other with regard to men and don't step on each other's toes and give each other, the respect, we have to treat each other like queens. And so we have to love each other as if we were best friends, be ready to gun for each other and fight and protect each other's babies and what that means is when nobody's looking and somebody has the heart for a man, you don't be a chicken head. It means have some
Mm-hmm.
class even when no one is looking. And it's embarrassing to me as a black woman to have said to another sister that I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure my children survive and everyone's children survive. You know what the sister said? I want to get back to the live. I don't want to talk about this. I want to get educated. Well, how about be a educated chicken head and care about the babies first? Care about your sister first before you're trying to chase a man. So sisterhood is at the very pinnacle of the pyramid. We have to be loyal because we are the ones who govern the children, govern the school, govern the food, govern the health. We govern everything. So if we have one little catty mouse, you feel me? It makes everybody's child unsafe, every village unsafe, it just makes everything discombobulated. We're women. We have to be the water. We have to flow in order. We have to be ma'at. And if you're not ma'at, you're not an empress. Period.
It's so I'm listening to the sister talk, and when I tell you how many friendships have ended for that exact reason, I have had some women that I knew for many years, but when it came to picking individuals over their children, and I'm talking predatory individuals, they would
Yes.
choose that individual over
Yes.
their children. And
Yes.
I'm like, do you not understand that this is dysfunctional? And there's even something deeper wrong with you that you would permit it after you promise your children that you're going to keep them safe.
Right. Right. And
That is difficult.
that's desperation. So if you can feel like, how drugs is a bad thing, white people is a bad thing, child rape, animal rape, like if you can feel that there's a bad thing in you and it's incongruent to child safety and the village safety, then get your act right, get your mind right, get your shit together. Don't bring that catty fuckery to the village during a COVID crisis. That part. Have some sense during an emergent time. That part. Be black first if you can't be a sister. And then if you can't be a sister, ask big sister. Don't disrespect your elder. Don't tell her you don't want to tell her how old you are. I mean, I actually had somebody that you all know tell me she wasn't even going to tell nobody. But when it's time to set her ass on the show, she want to tell everybody how old she is. But when it's time for sisterhood time, she don't want to tell me how old. So between black women, we have a seniority thing. We respect our elders. She didn't even want to say the age because she wasn't going to have no part of respect. If you are so messy that your emotions won't even allow you to have order in front of people, don't mess up the live. Don't mess up the community. Don't mess up the revolution. So I told the girl, look, I will give you the man because I want my babies to live. How about you keep the man and I keep my babies? You know what she did? She skipped along and went right back at it. So you guys didn't see me because I'm not able to be fake very well. I don't know how to do Jamaicans. We don't know how to do a plastic smile. So if somebody tells me, yo, go take your negativity somewhere after somebody's disrespected me, then I'll have to go somewhere because that must mean you must like the disrespect. You must like the catty person. Let her be on your show. I don't have time for shenanigans because right now I'm delegating safety for a lot of people, not just young people. And so if something is futile,
I think people like that, it's kind of hard because, back to what we were talking about as far as that superwoman thing goes, when you're that superwoman or one of them who thinks that you are responsible for everybody, you don't want to see anyone left behind, no matter how broken they are.
No.
And there's a time when you have to step out and say, I have to leave this situation alone because I've done all I can do.
That's right. And so I told the sister, look, I will give you my hair. I will give you whatever you want so that you can get back in line with the revolution. You know what she did? No response. She didn't care about the kids, didn't want my hair. You feel me? Like sometimes it's just not congruent. You cannot make oil and water mix. So if we are empresses, yes, it is up to us to say, little girl, what do you need to get back on track? The little girl didn't need anything. She was in a different space. She don't have the same revolutionary mind. She's not about the mission. So I said, look, then she said she wanted to throw all the blocks. So I said, all right, well, this is not a game. This is real life and people can be affected. So you play with your box, but I'm not on anybody's stage. Being an empress means that you have to check people sometimes. You can't just shoo it away because somebody says it's negativity. You have to put things in order. So sometimes you're going to be the bad guy to check the little girl and say, look, survival is first, not you catching a man. You can have the man. I want the babies. You feel me? Like I'm a real woman. How about you? She still acted pink. And I was very appalled. Because I told her she's beautiful.
The whole time
just
I feel
beautiful.
sorry for her. As you telling this story, I just feel sorry for her because she just sounds so broken, you know? But she just sounds really broken.
But you know what? I'm going to say this too. At the same time, right? If you are an empress, right? That means you want to give food to our men like they were your sons. Right. And if a man is a performer, he's an artist, you don't let him suck from you all your resources that you should be giving your sister and her kids in LA. Like she had family members who needed her, and she was giving her money to a man to sing songs during a pandemic. So I'm just saying to you that if it doesn't walk like a duck and don't quack like a duck, it's not black like us. It's not an empress. Move along. So I moved along.
Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
And sometimes what we have, you know, I was having this conversation earlier. And I'm gonna start it with the African proverb that was shared with me. And I'm gonna change some of the words because the words are profanity. But if a baby S's on your leg, do you cut your leg off? No, you just wipe the S off.
Right.
And then sometimes when our sisterins do that, we got to give them grace. Step back, sit, reflect, meditate, pray, because they sometimes, you know, we can challenge each other to a different level. And what we end up a lot of times doing is backbiting and cursing them and fussing and getting angry and getting our heart all in the uproar and affecting our personal health from their stupidity. And when we just got to kind of sit back and assess it, let them do whatever they got to do. And then when we can come back with a quiet mind, calmness, because that way we're not letting that frustration off in a way, and then deliver to them, you know, a word sound that's going to affect you positively and them as well, because sometimes we just we go too quickly in our emotions, and so sometimes we gotta and it will end a relationship. It'll end a family, you know, it will cause some kind of friction or havoc. It'll cause disruption in the community. We got to learn to just wipe it off and then
live
come back in a different reflective way.
Right.
Because I can hear her voice.
Sometimes what I realized is you cannot fix everything. Sometimes
Exactly.
Sister Kisu, come back.
Except that someone has made a choice.
She goes.
I have to make
I'm sorry,
sure that
Sister Kisu, you got cut off. Can you start again? I'm sorry, sis.
No worries. I was going to say I have to learn to accept that not everyone is going to have my mission, my vision, or my love.
That's right.
And so I can't make the sister get up and love me. I can't make her want to care about the kids first. first. I can't make
She
her
don't love
stop being
herself.
desperate. I can tell her,
She don't love
right?
herself.
No, and hold on. Right. And I told the sister that she is too beautiful to act this way. I told her that. I said, I'm beautiful. So for me to tell you that you're beautiful, you're really beautiful. I told her this. And you don't have any excuse to act this way. I told her this. But if she's not living beautiful, then she can't hear beautiful. And I have to stop knocking on a closed door. So what I'm saying to you is you can't always shoo somebody, tell them to go to the silent room and tell them to get rid of jealousy in 5 minutes. That doesn't work that way. So part of being part of being a superwoman means that you don't afford yourself certain emotions. You say, look, it's a pandemic right now. I'm queen bee. I can't be jealous. I can't be angry at this little sister who doesn't have sense. The only thing I can do is counsel her. And I did not cuss the young lady. I dealt with her the same way I do my high school students. I only asked her age because I wanted to give her the respect of a peer if she was my age. But she refused to tell me because I was just, I've never had a woman refuse to tell me. And we're supposed to be building. And I just, where I come from, nobody is like a man. A man is not going to say, hey, I want to fight if it didn't. So where I come from, a sister is not going to pretend to be friends if she hates me. But she did the pink thing. And I was so disgusted because I'm not used to seeing pinkness on that level in Black people. So I'm not used to the sourness. However, right now, being a superwoman means science minus emotion. Does it make sense? And if it does not, get rid of it, wipe that shit off your leg.
Yeah. 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 Anyone have anything to say to that? I don't.
Maybe the brother, he looked like he have something to say.
Brother Hakeem? Wait a minute. We're muted.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you were muted. I apologize, Brother Hakeem.
Oh, no problem. I was thinking, I agree with everything the sister said, and she just about said everything, right? But I was looking at your questions here, and one of the things that are solutions that we try to implement is taking a hiatus during the winter months. So it may not be where we're not interacting at all, but we try to tone it down and have our season go from March to say September, and then we pause and cut the events down and do the self-reflecting during that time. And at that time, the people that may come in your life that end up the way the sister was describing, they kind of fade out, and they'll even come back seasonally, and that gives you a chance to recharge. You know, you can put the cape down for a time and have your recharge moment, and especially if it's every year, because our bodies go in cycles too. So a lot of times the stress builds up when we're doing work where we're supposed to be pulling back.
I like that. That is so true because I know for me, I don't do well in the winter time. I really don't. I feel like there's not enough sun. I feel like it's dark and it's cold and it's like a depressing time for me. I actually have to do extra to kind of stay motivated and kind of manage my surroundings because it's just something about the winter time that has always been an issue for me. Right. And I didn't realize what it was until I got older.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't work well for me either. I just that it's not enough sun.
I think we have to take a cue from animals. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Aisha.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think we have to take a cue from animals. A lot of mammals, they go away. They hibernate. So I think for me and for many people, maybe during the winter months, people should take that opportunity as much as we can, because I know a lot of us still have to work and do things outdoors, but as much as we can, just kind of hibernate. And like the brother Hakeem said, use the opportunity to recharge, because as you watch nature, like everything kind
Uh-oh, Aishi froze. Aishi, you froze, sis.
I just
Okay,
heard her say everything kind and then
fine.
it stopped.
She'll come back. She'll come back.
Hmm.
Okay.
So the blind guy, his wife, and their life. I'm gonna share what they wrote because I was behind on some comments. I got caught up in our conversation because it was good. Oh, there goes Aishi. Let me read this comment really
Yeah, go
quick.
ahead.
YouTube has been great to find the brothers and sisters that are motivators and traders. Anja Africa makes a great point that we're here for the struggle but can't give up our platforms, the patience.
Mhm.
Because I
I
know
love,
as I go to
I
this
love
new,
hearing you, Anja. Every time you come speak, I love hearing it.
I
As well,
appreciate you.
I
I
do.
appreciate you. As I go to this new platform, I plan to make that administrator my best friend.
And,
He is gonna be tired of me.
keep me in your pocket, please.
Well, I think the idea is that, we have all these amazing people like Blind Guy, his wife, their life, Limblick, Sanov, all of these folks on this platform who have all these amazing followers. Those people that are woke are not going to have any problem transferring to this new platform. Because if they're really about the struggle and they're really about you only want certain people to be privy to the things that we discuss, then you
Mm-hmm.
use these platforms to lead them to where they need to go.
Go. Yeah.
And I know I've been very hesitant about putting out content because I'm always like, oh, I don't know if I really have anything to say. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know
You have a
what?
lot.
This is what people need to hear as far as what it takes to get here, because I was determined that I was moving to Gambia June 21, right? Then I got my ancestry results back and I'm like, whoa, I got to go to Sierra Leone, right?
Wait a minute.
Now, as I prepare, I'm going, you know how much money it's taking me? Like, I broke down everything just for me and my son to go visit 3 countries with the visas, the COVID tests, the taxes, like all of these little details that we don't realize we're running into. It's expensive. And this
I've
is
been
why a lot
adding
of
it.
us
I've been
as
adding it.
families, I can't even imagine entire families making that move. I was like, I have to go. I have to make this sacrifice now before I decide if this is going to be my final move, because then I know what I need to put together to go. So this is what I'm learning. You're not as ready as you thought. So
Yeah.
this trip will determine how I'm going to move in June.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is not easy. That's I've been on my and I hate to say it, but on my repat journey for 22 years. That's a long time. And when I was younger, I just wasn't ready. I wasn't, and it wasn't like now. Back then it was really like you had no it was no YouTube to kind of guide you and I the person that I was married to at the time, I was just kind of like, I don't know if I was ready to move there. So I just end up waiting, and so now with all my kids, my youth, are adults. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to do this because I need to. I want to have a long life. I don't want to pass away early like my mother. I see, my brothers have had heart attacks due to stress, and we all have realized the stress of the West is real. And so we all want that off our backs.
The sisters,
So
I see her moving. You were frozen
Yeah, I've been
before.
back for a while.
Mr. Aikikiba, what were you
No,
saying? Because
yeah, I
you
was
was
just
about to come
saying.
with some goodness. That's what they do. When you come in with some goodness, they're like, ah.
Right, exactly. No, I just to finish my thought, if you guys don't mind, I was just saying how, I can completely relate to the whole cold thing because I can't stand the cold. And that probably has something to do with us being melanated and, just, being connected to the sun and being sun people. But we certainly can learn from, mammals when they just completely go missing. During the winter time, like I'm learning a lot about animals through my son when he reads all these books. And I think it's bears or a couple of animals, they just completely just hibernate.
Hibernate.
And I know we can't afford to do that completely like them, because we got to work and stuff. But we can take a cue from their book in a sense where we can just slow down during that time and rejuvenate, just like nature. Nature kind of dies. I hate to use the word die, but you know, they even the trees kind of rest, and then everything comes back, you know, with full vengeance and life and energy during like the spring and summer. So, you know, we can utilize this time to just chill and do things to help, like you know, I have a couple of things we talked about, you know, going to the gun range just to release that energy, meditation, seeking therapy. I know therapy has been taboo in the Black community, but one thing I was discussing with Kiddes earlier is, I know for me, hearing, if somebody would have said I had to go through therapy at one time, I took it like he was cursing at me. You know, like, you know, I remember somebody presenting that and I was like, I don't need no therapy. You know, I was just in such a different state of mind. But I'm like, how can you not get a life coach or counseling given 400 years and then the aftermath and then the current state? I mean, we have so much going on that it's not normal to not receive help. It's just not, with all the stuff that we have coming at us. So it's so important to, you know, go boxing, you know, take vacations. Like, I'm a firm believer of vacations. I go away just to get replenished. So I think it's important for Black women in America to replenish ourselves. And I think, to answer your question, sister, earlier, of how, you know, what is being feminine, I think when we are able to do those things, we can come back recharged and tap into our femininity. Femininity, I'm learning, is power. I used to think masculinity was power. And I remember I used to want to be like my brothers, and just growing up in a city, you know, I had this like masculine energy to me until I learned the power of femininity. I know when I'm going to get stuff fixed, and I have a soft voice, the men just melt. Not all of them. I'm not saying, you know, I just got
No,
this
they
magic
melt. They
spell.
melt.
Not to
They
toot my
melt.
own horn.
You go there, put that sweet voice on. They melt.
Yeah, oh, they love
They
that.
melt so
See, I ain't want to
quickly.
say that Hakeem on the
No, brother
line. You know,
Hakeem.
I ain't want to give my secrets. But yeah, you just turn that sweet voice. Oh my gosh, I got more with that than coming in like, yeah, you need what you need to do. You know, when I turn the
When you come
DC
like
thing
that, they be
off, and
like, "Oh, you want to be a dude? Okay, I'm gonna treat you like a
yeah, they
dude."
treat right. They become combative. A lot of men shut down. A
And
lot
that's
of
what a
men
lot
walk
of us
away.
do. I see that all the time. A lot of
Yeah,
us.
I have too. I've seen the difference. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've unleashed something. Why ain't nobody tell me this a long time ago? I'm getting much more being feminine than being masculine. I'm not saying it's not a time to be masculine, because I think when you're dealing with, I hate to say savage people, but when you're dealing with that savage mentality, you sometimes you have to use that. But certainly femininity is power. It is a power in that, and I've learned that. So yeah, we
And
definitely
we
need to
looked
tap
at it
into
as a
that.
weakness, you know.
We
I
see it as a
remember
weakness. It is
I
not. It's
grew up
power in it.
seeing women who are too, because I was a tomboy as well. You know, I was out
Yeah.
riding dirt bikes, you know, catching snakes. I was like the only girl amongst like 10 boys playing
Right.
football. And, you know, I was a real tomboy. And
Yeah.
so when I realized that, I was like, when the little boys started liking me, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? They were doing stuff for me, not because I was a bully or bigger than them anymore. They were doing stuff because they was like looking at me, and I was like, realized like, oh, let me get a little girly, you know.
Right.
So it's some of us don't know how to make that balance between that, because you know, what man doesn't like to go on the basketball court and play basketball with his woman, and then go home and have her cook for her, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it
Right.
has to be a balance, you know, with that feminine and masculine energy. And some of us turn
Absolutely.
on the masculine energy way too high,
That's
you
right. And
know,
all the
all
time.
the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns into like this angry Black woman kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe. And it's nothing, and I don't want, personally don't want to be an angry Black woman. So
Mm-hmm.
I have learned, like, I can sit in the barbershop and have barbershop talk all day long, sit and watch the football game, you know, soccer, you know, and then turn around and talk about crocheting and babies and nursing and, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and all the girly stuff
With
at the
that
same
music.
time. It has to be a balance.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And it's funny, I never thought about this, but I remember my aunt, like the women in my family, like my mom and my aunt, they're pretty strong women. But I remember my aunt when she dealt with men, you know, she a feisty Jamaican woman, but when she dealt with men, I remember she had this femininity to her. She knew how to turn it off, and they just melted in her hands. And I didn't understand the power of that back then. And now it clicked. It's like, oh wow, okay, I get it. But she, handled her business, and she was strong when it was time to be. So yeah, I agree with you, kid. It's just finding that balance of being like that. It's a beautiful thing. I just wish somebody would have told me sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it's never too late. Yeah.
So one of the things is, in regards, like, I had an area in this topic of conversation, like hanging up the cape, the solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Should we hang up the cape, or should we keep the cape?
We got to keep it on hand, I guess. Like,
Keep it on
I just
hand.
feel like, me personally, I feel it's a time and place for everything. And I know that, not to pick on Southeast, because growing up in Northwest DC, it was rough
We
too.
got
So I'm not
enough
going
bad names in Southeast. They went to Ghana and acted a fool. Don't talk about Southeast, okay? Leave my hood out of it right now. We're gonna. This
I'm
is
gonna
a
leave it
new
alone. But
This is a
I'm
new
just saying,
representation of Southeast.
I know, not all. It's some good people from Southeast. I want to say for the record, but no, just to answer your question, just my humble opinion. I think we have to not completely put it away. I think it has to be there, but we need to not have it on all the time, if that makes sense. Like, there are times where we dealing with, like, for my son, I'm feminine with him and I'm soft with him, but it's times where he doesn't listen to that feminine, that feminine soft voice, and I have to step it up and say, listen, don't play with me, or be more assertive. So it's like I said, living in this society where it's unnatural. It's almost like you have to meet the unnatural with unnaturalness. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if America wasn't how it was, then we could lay in our femininity or lie in our femininity all the time. But because
so let me just be clear.
Yeah.
Are we associating the cape with masculinity?
That's a good question.
That's a deep question, isn't
because
it?
the most superness part of us is our yin. So I'm going to say that water trumps everything. Rocks, paper, scissors, water will flood the whole commode. So really and truly, I mean, I'm going to say my Superwoman boots and my little lasso and all of my ancestral powers, truly and truly, when I bat my eyelashes and when my voice gets nice and soft, it really makes a
You just
difference.
using me with that voice. Go ahead, say it again.
Y'all giving up too many secrets to the brother. Now he gonna run back to his wife and he gonna say, "Don't
Where's
try
my
it
pen?
because I know
Where's my
what you're
pen?
doing."
Exactly.
No, I got her game. She absolutely does that to a T. I have to say,
It
stop.
works.
You cut that out.
Because we have powers. Thank you, brother
But I like
Hakeem.
it. I like it though. I
Yes,
like it. So
they love it. See, they
it
love
is
it.
what it is.
And so, really and truly, when your king man tells you that you look sexy when you're burning him out and putting him in check, you know that that's a feminine. Yeah, he loves the water, even if it's like a flood and it's really kicking his ass. He loves that we're so powerful. So the things that make our children marvel at us and our men marvel at us is not the makeup, it's not the weave, it's not the, you feel me? It's not the pale face vibes. It is our femininity, because it trumps everything. Even the men, brother Hakeem, go ahead, chime in now if you want. Even the men say that we're the best. Even the men, they're like, yo, hands down.
It absolutely works. And
Yes.
sometimes you even if you can pick up that box, if you act like you can't, then there's gonna be somebody there to help you out with it.
That is
That's
true.
right.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
The eyelashes again. Bat the eyelashes. I can't. Ooh, it's too heavy.
You know what's
Oh.
interesting about what this sister said and about what Hakeem said? It's me, my son, and my son, and his dad is in his life. But one of the things I do is that I stop doing things in my household so that my son knows to play that role.
Exactly.
Like, I want him to know that your dad is going to teach you certain things about being a man, but there's a way that you cater to a woman. And maybe I can help provide that from my perspective. So I'm like, when you take me to the supermarket, don't pull up 10 miles in the back of the supermarket. The door is up there. Take me to the front door and let me out in front of the door. This is what you do. you know,
That's right.
or if I will stop and let him open the door.
Mhm.
Because there was a
Yeah.
time, when, and I have him doing that from when he's little. Like I want him to know that these are the things you do for people you care about.
Right,
That's
right.
This
right.
is how
That's
you should
right.
conduct yourself, even cleaning up behind himself.
Mhm.
If he don't do it, I'll give him about a good month, and then I will go in his room, put all the trash on the bed, put everything where it's supposed to be. When he come in, I'm like, what are you supposed to do? What would you
Right.
do if your wife is ill or she's not
Exactly.
around and you have to take care of the kids? Like, so I think there's a way that mothers can play a role without feminizing their boys.
I so
That's right.
agree with
I
that.
see too much of that. I tell my
Yeah.
girlfriends all the time,
Yeah.
you complain about your son, but
Mhm.
you got him at the apron strings, like you still breastfeeding him.
Mhm.
What is this? Teach him to be a man. If you
Mhm.
can't do it and his father's not filling that role, then fill that role with males who can.
Who can?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
Yes.
already
so
Thank
agree.
started.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
Yeah.
reaching
you.
out
Yeah.
because when I get to the Gambia, I want my son to meet the happy companion. I want him to meet Tyson. I want him to meet I'm not calling this man SW. What's his name? Mr. Rick. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I want him to meet him. Like I want him to see males that are making moves on a continent and doing positive things.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
I'm
That's
hoping
Mm-hmm.
right.
he'll get to meet Power. I hope he gets to meet Corey from Blind Guy. I'm like, I want him to see males that lead their families.
That's right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, sisters, we have to let go of Brother Hakeem. I know you have to go, my brother.
Thank you for
I'll be
joining
I
us.
listening.
I just want to say thank you so much. I always love it when you're on
Mhm.
here. You bring such a fresh perspective. We need that male energy, that male
Absolutely.
vibration. So I appreciate love that.
Is this
Um,
the batting of the eyes here? No, love right back at you, sis. Right back at you.
so if you
Appreciate
can
you the
just
same way.
can you just share with the family really quick your website really quick and how they can reach you.
Yes, it's passageinstitute.com. The
Uh-oh. Oh, I'll share it, Brother Hakeem. He's frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. Go ahead. You
there you
you were
go.
frozen.
All right. Yeah. I start saying the wrong things, boy. Passageinstitute.com. You can follow my wife Shamor Sheikh on Instagram or Facebook. And my IG is Hakeem Ziad Bey and Facebook as well.
All right, and that's it on the bottom right there, Hakeem.
Thank
Zia
you.
Bay and Passage Institute. They're the ones that I did the advertisement for the Moon Swag Bag coming soon, so that you can get in tune with your moon cycles. They
Oh,
have one for
nice.
every month. So I will do my little PSA at the end of the stream. All right, Brother Hakeem,
Absolutely.
you have a
All
blessed
right
one.
now.
Good
I'll be
night.
Assalamualaikum.
listening in.
All right.
All
Assalamualaikum.
right. Yeah,
Blessed
that's
love, Hakeem.
family. It's good to have family like that.
Right.
Oh wow, I messed up on the chat. Let me but anyway, so okay, so I'm gonna go through the chat in a minute, but I just kind of want us because I want to kind of wind down, and I appreciate love you ladies being on here with me. I really do. Um as far as some solutions, I have brought up like meditation, you
Mhm.
know, we need to learn how to ask for help,
Mhm.
uh, to say the I ams, and a problem shared is a problem solved. So those are
Mhm.
some of the solutions that I thought of that could help with that whole hanging up the cape so that we can kind of be more of a balanced self. So, what are your thoughts on those solutions in regards? Do you all incorporate those things in your lives?
Um, can I? Who?
Yeah.
Yes,
Who
ma'am.
can I?
Yes, 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 yes.
Mhm.
Go, Empress.
I wanted to say that there's a price. You know from your child that if you don't do all the stupid things the cool kids do, that you are being loyal to your mother and to your family, and to your tribe, but you don't get to play. So that's a price from your young. There's a price when you have to be the higher road, which means you can't play with all the kids that are not seeing what happened in the lower road. So that means you have to take a sabbatical, and it means you get left out because you have to do the better thing, and then everybody else who's not paying attention, they're just still playing. So there is a price of holding your corner, and that might not feel good at first, but it is royal. And it's better for me, just at least, and I know for all of you, to at least know in myself that I am royal. Like, that is the standard I have for myself. So when dealing with our men, that not just the babies, but our grown men, because I am royal, I'm going to address him not as a handicap, coward. I'm going to address him as a king. And I'm going to expect out of him to be a king. And I'm not going to allow cowardice to be the excuse. And I'm going to say, hey, this is my example, and this is the light that I am shining, and you must reflect it. If you cannot reflect it, then you're not a man, you're not a sunball. You're incongruent to the universe, and I must wipe that shit off my thigh. So all I'm going to say is, when we are being royal, we must be royal at all times. Sorry, I'm going to take your word. I mean, if you give me a metaphor, I'm going to use it.
Whatever we share is for all of us. Take it, own it.
Thank you.
Blame Mickey.
Yes.
You have to blame Mickey, a guy, for that. Mickey, a guy, is the one who gave us that, right?
Okay, thank you, Mickey. Thank you. I'm going to use your quote. Anyway, so as it fits so many instances here. So I was going to say that it does. There's a price when you are an athlete. Yes, you don't like to get up in the morning. You don't like to run. You don't like to have to do the things it takes to get that body. But
that's right.
You have that body. You are the you have a crown everywhere you go because you abstained from the fuckery. When you abstain from the fuckery, your light keeps shining, and the hyenas keep pining. That's fine. Cut and go through. You don't have the time for that shit. Wipe it off your thigh. Wipe that doodle right on off. You feel me?
That's right.
Because number one, pink acting is never going to serve you. Cowardness is never going to serve you. All of that stuff is not sexy. Get back with the cool people. Get back with where you belong. And see, once I wipe that doodle off my thigh, I said, wait a minute. I'm not even supposed to be. Wait, this is not even my reflection. Let me go to what reflects me. And so that's one thing I will share with you. I'm not good at taking a rest. I'm like that lady where somebody said, take the baby from her. She needs a rest. Okay, so I actually had to take a time out and only deal with reflections of me. Just to maybe, I don't want to say remind myself, but just to reiterate to myself that I am on the right track. And even though it doesn't feel good, what the lowerness does to the higher-ness, I can go and be with my higher, I can be with something that reflects me and leave all that alone. You do have to be your own mother, okay? Being a superwoman means that you're not going to have a mother good enough for you. You're going to have to be your own mother and everybody else's too. That means you're going to have to check yourself. You're also going to have to tell yourself to take a nap and hold a corner and be quiet. And by the way, all these men are not loving women, so let me go and get a man that loves women so that I can have the sunball shine on me. It's the first time in many years, and I know this is going to sound weird to you, but I actually hadn't been socializing with American men. And I forgot that some of the things that were on file that the brothers had said were on file. And I said, woe be unto me. This is why the whole African community is not socializing with other people, because they're not shining properly on us. The man is supposed to shine on us like a sun. I'm supposed to feel warmth. I'm not supposed to feel resistance. I'm not supposed to ask him, can I see what you're hiding? That's not warmth. And if somebody is resisting you, then you're not naturally for him. And so sometimes as super women, we're going to have to acknowledge when a man is just not a man. Because you can't make him be a man. You cannot make anybody stop licking his lips and twitching his bottom and wearing a dress. You cannot make anyone courageous. You cannot make him do something he doesn't want to do. So
Mhm.
I quickly release and say, hey, if you don't like us, you don't have to. And it's not a
Right.
You know
joke.
what? But I have to tell you, I think that, and I can't speak for anyone else, but I can tell you that that is something that I've been guilty of. I have been guilty of being a crutch, right?
Hmm.
Because I was taught from an early age, never think you are better than the Black man. So my understanding of that is if you see a brother down, you're supposed to support him. If you see a brother struggling, you're supposed to support him. Not really understanding that there's a fine line between, I guess, support and dependence, right? Someone
Mhm.
actually depending on you and you being support, because it takes a strong person to be able to lean on you and recover, right? It takes another kind of broken person to depend on you and be okay with that, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think that, and a lot of our young women who are already broken will see these men and think they can make them better. All they need is them in their corner.
Yeah.
Forget about their circumstance. So it's hard when you have broken people that are
Yeah.
trying to mend each other and you're trying to tell them, but you're African first.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They can't even fathom what that means.
Mhm. You know, it's kind of interesting. I have a scenario where this brother's passed away. May he rest in peace. Um, he was he was my he was my daughter's not biological father. Okay. Uh, he was very good to my children, but I remember when it came to him and I, we were like magnets. We just didn't, you know, go. But because of I could see with my eyes that he was not well. I could hear, I could all around. He was just not well one way or another. And in regards to our brothers, and he was an African brother. Everyone kept telling me, why are you there? Why are you supporting? And they made it in more into like I was caught, like you're caught up into him or what have you. And I'm like, no, I said, I'm looking at someone dying in front of me, but nobody else could see it. But, you can see it. And it was a lot of verbal abuse, no physical abuse, but a lot of verbal abuse with me trying to help him. And then sometimes I was looking at it first. This is my brother.
You
And
had
this
that
is,
cape on.
I had the cape on. And I said, this is my brother. And I was like, I see something is wrong. And I was still there to help him and support him. And everyone, no one can understand it until after he passed away. And then they saw what he went into before they understood it, because he wouldn't do anything for himself. And most people would have been like, F him, let him, da, 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 because he was bugging. He was really bugging. His word sounds were off, were off code. His behavior was off code. Everything was off code with him. But because as a woman, and I saw this was a brother in another country. He had no family here. He was my brother. He was good to my children, but he wasn't good to me. That's why we weren't together. But as his sister, I took myself out of the equation, out of that man-woman situation, and I became his sister. I said, something's not right. And this is the whole thing of giving grace and seeing things for what it is and not for what you're hearing. Because this is something else I'm noticing. Like, a lot of us are coming on the continent and we're sick. And we're bringing that sick behavior. So this is someone that I saw was sick. I could clearly see he was sick, even though he couldn't see it. Nobody else around us could see it, but I tuned into him because he was my brother. And I gave him that grace and worked with him. And alhamdulillah, he found the help. And, we found out he was terminally sick, but at least in his last days, it was peaceful. And then all that anger that he had bound towards me, like, because he hated me, turned into, it was turned into a grateful thing, but because I gave him grace, he in turn ended up giving me grace. And he was a blessing to my children. And more of us, and that's an extreme case, and I'm not telling everyone to do that, but I'm just saying sometimes on the smaller scales, we have to learn to give each other grace because we are terminally ill in this country, across the West. And we're going to come off with a lot of kind of really crazy behavior, and we're not going to understand it. We're going to be like, what's going on? And we talked about it, like, you see something in your community, you're like, I'm not taking all that. It's like, now we have to learn, because it's beyond us now. And we're going to start seeing a lot of this sick behavior come into fruition. Like today I was hearing, sometimes I have to take a break from social media because I hear a lot of stuff that we're saying towards each other, and we're just not giving each other that grace, because there's a lot of hurt people out here hurting each other. And I took the cape off, but I still had to make that balance, between it, because sometimes we have, like we need somebody to tell us we need to release. Sometimes we have to be that person for someone else.
It's a very thin line, too.
Oh, girl, you're so courageous. I'm like, dude, that's courage, because I know what what you said was exactly how people behave at the end of life. You see that anger, you see this person that you don't recognize, and you like held his hand and guide him through that. That is like, that was ultra Superwoman, like, because most people are not equipped to do that.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I was called out every kind of name possibly you could think of. and doing the most. I'm not going to go into whole detail because that's a whole nother story in itself. I can tell you offline when I see you when we're sitting on the continent chilling. I'll be like, okay, let me let you know what that story was about.
Drinking clean water.
Yeah, drinking, exactly. But yeah, I just really think we have to, and it's going to start with us. Giving ourselves grace, giving ourselves, learning how to meditate within ourselves. Because once, one of the things that I always say, every situation is for a reason, and we have to find the positive in the reason, even if it's a negative reason. Like, you're not going through it for nothing. And it's a lesson that's going to teach you, not only you, but then you can in turn take that lesson and share it with someone else and be a blessing to someone else. Because I was like, I didn't go through all this crap for myself. I was like, I must be going through stuff so I can teach someone, educate someone, guide someone through vicariously through my challenges, so that they don't have those same challenges and issues. So what are some of the things that you all are doing in regards to getting yourself to that point?
I actually started to make a list of things that I need to do daily. Things that we did as college students and we forgot to do them when we got older because we just didn't have time, like meditation. I don't ever meditate. I don't even ever stretch. So I actually took a time out to do exercise. I don't even exercise. I'm just such a busybody, soccer coach, African dance. I never felt like I never thought of exercising. Like, I never had a chance to exercise. I'm wearing myself out and everything else. But you have to stretch. It makes a big difference. And you have to meditate. You have to it's an emergency world right now. So we have to make things right with our mind. Ladies, we're the only things that can save our communities, because we're the ones who have the magic. We actually have capabilities. No matter what your belief system is, we push out babies. So from you push out babies, you know what kind of powers I'm talking about. Because when that baby is inside, you are communicating to your baby how you want him or her to be. We must do this with the universe right now. We must actually, in the morning, before we speak, listen, before you speak, your first vibration is mental. You're going to put into the universe, hey, I don't want Babylon and the Nazi race warriors to kill everybody. I want them to be held at bay until we can exodus. So you're going to part the waters with your mind. You can actually do this. We did it during the slave times. We would all be exterminated like the Native American if we didn't do this with our minds. There are times we have all done this as mothers, but right now, we have to turn into something else. Right now, we need to be
See, I like
warriors.
that. I like
And
that
so,
because what you're saying is you just reminded me about like connecting with the spirit, whatever that is for you. I actually just discovered a channel called Ancestral Vibes.
mm-hmm.
I don't know if you all are familiar with them, but they talk about the
Mhm.
history of our people, the powers that we have, all the African spiritual connections that we have. And I've been following like each one because, like I said, this pandemic has been a blessing to us. I don't know how
Yes.
many people see it that way, but
No,
if
I
Yes.
do.
not for the
I do.
pandemic, we would not have this connection. I would not know any of you, quite honestly, because I was so busy grinding, running on the rat wheel that I was not even looking at YouTube. And
Mhm.
when I did, I thought it was a blessing if I could come in and catch a black television show
Mhm.
and then get
Mhm.
That,
mad
yes.
because they showed some behaviors that I thought were inappropriate
Tyler
and just blew
Perry.
my whole,
Tyler Perry. Yep,
you
Tyler
know.
Perry. As soon
So
as we get
Mhm.
something
it's a
black, it has to
blessing.
be, yeah.
So I think we have to connect to the spirit, whatever that is for you, whatever your faith, your belief system, meditation, eating well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
exercising, getting sunlight,
Yeah.
and not dealing with low vibration people.
Mhm.
That's right.
Say that
Yeah.
again.
Yes,
That was
Ashe, oh.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe,
It's not
Ashe.
even like, I'm better than you. You're here. I'm there. It's not that. We are
No,
in different places on the spectrum.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And your vibration is not what I need.
Not
It's
right
Mhm.
not
now
going to fulfill me. It's not going to make me productive. Low vibration people have no place.
at
Mhm.
all.
Was I
Not during
not
a
having that
pandemic.
conversation today? Was I not having that
Yeah.
conversation today, Aishi?
Yeah. Yeah. You were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
You
they're
know,
they're right.
and
Yeah.
so and other things, I mean, when you talk about what you do, I am painting, I am writing, I'm jumping
Yeah.
rope, I'm
Yes.
Okay.
exercising, I'm cooking, I'm like, I
Yes.
started cooking African food because when I get home I need to know where to get my stuff. So
Right.
I done got rid of all the bad groceries. The fridge
Mhm.
is full of vegetables, and December 1st we are out of here. So but that's what I've been doing, preparing to sell everything and prep for
That's
my
right.
trip.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
So I just
That's
been
what you do.
packing.
A
That's it.
forward motion, a forward motion. So
That's the
make sure,
focus.
ladies, that no matter what we're doing, we're up full. That means you're exercising, you're taking liquid chlorophyll, even if you don't want it. Go ahead, knock out that garlic, that ginger little thing. Do whatever you can to get ready, because it's about to turn up more than you
Yeah.
believe,
Yeah.
more than you guys are even ready for. So the best thing that you can do, right, to make yourself happy in the future is to prepare now,
Yes.
Mhm.
right?
And
You
oh,
Yeah.
don't
I,
want
and I
to.
have to tell you, sister, I don't know your name, but I've heard you speak before when you were talking about to-go bag on the Happy Companions channel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was you.
Probably. I don't know what we were
Yes.
saying.
Well, as a result, I went and bought like a little solar panel thing that has
Oh,
a
that's
radio
right. The
and a
to-go bag.
flashlight and a
Yeah,
charger.
that's right.
I have,
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
I,
yes. I
That's
remember
right.
that because I
I
said
remember that
I have it
now.
on my to-do list. Oh, that's
That's right.
it.
well, I just
Yes,
have
ma'am.
one. I found one and it has everything. It's a phone charger. It's a radio.
I'm
It
Yes,
gonna
even
have to
has
ask you
like
to
a
send me
flash.
that link.
Mhm.
It has a charge thing that you
that's
could
right.
generate a little bit of power. You can charge your phone. But because of
Mhm.
this sister
Wow.
that's talking, so
That's right.
and
I showed
and
it
I
to her.
wanted to say that because everybody should have something like that for emergency in the home. So I
That's
got
right.
it here in the house, and I have some other things on the way. And I also did
Mm-hmm.
a major order through. I was looking to buy on We Buy Black, but they didn't have the things I needed in bulk. So I
Okay.
had Amazon deliver water stacked up on cereal, dry goods, rice, flour, all of that.
Okay.
Just stack up because when they have this shut down, you don't need to be leaving your house for anything. I had them
At
deliver
all.
everything to my door. The boxes had me boxed in my house. Right? I had them deliver it all here and I just put everything away. So if anything happened, I don't have to go outside.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now,
Mm.
That's my
ladies, be
final.
prepared. But hold on. Now, I don't want to scare anyone, but this is just reality. Be prepared for when they come inside to take all your goods. That's why we're leaving, because we know that we can't keep our goods from all those hyenas. We are outnumbered by the hyenas in America, and they have
Well,
guns.
especially where I live.
Right. So I'm just saying, I thought about, look, sister, the way you're thinking is right on point. This is where I was last month, and then I realized, hey, they're going to come into the house and snatch all my food out, and then where will I be? I have to leave. So regardless, keep your eyes on the prize, which is home, motherland.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And what you're doing
But
is the best thing. You're being
but those
prepared
of
in
us that
case.
still have to be here if they shut down, because they're saying some stuff now about shutting down. I'm in Pennsylvania. I
Right.
don't know where everybody is, but they're
Okay.
talking about another shutdown, and I'm supposed to be leaving December 1st, and I have to leave from DC. So I'm
Okay.
just like, in the meantime, we have to kind of make ends meet, and I don't want to have to go out if I don't need to. But that's the
That's right.
final thing I had to offer
Mm-hmm.
on how I think we should prepare, and I'd like to pass it to our sister. I forget
I
what it.
Kiva, and
I,
it's I'm in DC, so yeah, this is the place. Everyone seems to be leaving out of DC. Go ahead, Sister Aisha Kiba.
Well, you guys gave some really, you sisters gave some really good outlets for us, because we definitely need outlets. I just want to add, I know we mentioned gun range, throwing the axe, boxing is good. I want to get into that. Taking vacation, prayer, being in constant prayer, natural herbs. I know people drink and people smoke. And I'm not here to criticize or look down on anybody for doing it. But for some people, I guess, that works for them, but we have to be careful to not overindulge in those things, right? Like, but I know again that we live in an unnatural world, and we are using whatever we can to counteract that, but or to cope with that. But yeah, just meditation, and Brother Hakeem always mentions this, and I realized the power of it when I gave birth. Breathing, inhale and exhaling.
That's what they
This is
teach you. That's what they teach you when you're going through your
yeah,
birthing
it made a
process.
huge difference. I remember one of my I call her my sister mother, because she's like a sister mother to me slash mother. I remember before I went in to have my baby, she said, "Don't forget to breathe," and I'm like, whatever, and I did it, and it made the world of difference. So these are things that it's hard for us to say no, but we have to practice, saying, even if it's not coming out, just saying no, because that does sound mean, but just saying, listen, I have a lot on my plate, because I think people understand more. And for those who don't, oh well, you have to save yourself first. And when I think of this whole topic, I think of when you're in an airplane, um, what they ask you to do. They ask you to put, to cover your mouth to save yourself first, even before your own child. And I know as a mother, we probably not going to do that, right? Our natural instinct is to want to save our child. But every time I hear that, it just everything makes sense, which is you have to save yourself first. And people don't understand that when they're pulling from you, and you can't really get no higher to possibly help them even more. You have to save yourself first, is what I'm saying. And so whatever we have to do to help replenish ourselves, help to rejuvenate ourselves, we have to do it. And we just truly have to put ourselves first. And I think in a lot of cases, as Black women in particular, we feel selfish. We feel like we're doing something wrong when we don't save people. We feel so bad, like our heart just drops, and we feel like, oh, they're gonna die, or they're not going to survive without us. And they may, just like a baby, when they first starting to walk, they may stumble, but most of the time they'll be just fine. In fact, kiddos, we've talked about this before. You are abusing them in a sense by not letting them operate on their own frequency. You're abusing them. I mean, I never thought about it that way until me and kiddos, broke it down to each other. You are abusing them by enabling them and not letting them be to their fullness, because they're relying on you, and that's not helping them. So yeah, we really have to take care of ourselves, meditate. It's get a massage, go to a spa. And I'm gonna definitely have to replay this to hear about all the ideas that you sisters
There's some
mentioned,
good
because
ones.
you don't even think about it's a plethora of things to help us to rejuvenate and to be better, us. And one thing I kind of wanted to say too, and I'm gonna wrap my part up if anybody wants to say anything after me, is that I don't know if you all seen Lovecraft. Well, it was a version called I Am, or episode called I Am, and it just was so emotional for me because I remember she went, it looked like outer space somewhere, and the woman kept asking her, "Who are you? Who are you?" And she didn't know who she was. She didn't know. And I remember she kept wanting to escape, and the woman who was there asking her questions said, "You're not in bondage." She kept saying, "You're free, like you're not in bondage." And she kept saying, "Who are you? Who are you?" Until finally she said, "I want to be, Josephine Baker, or I want to be dancing with Josephine Baker." So she was with Josephine Baker, and I remember Josephine Baker looked at her, and this black woman was so angry, and she said, "I hate white people." Now, this her words, not mine, because I don't want to get fired or
use a different kind of word. We don't want this video blocked.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, right.
Yeah, we didn't
How
hate
can I say this? She said she hated a certain people, right? Use your imagination. She hated a certain people. She was just angry because she grew up that time. The time took place in around 1960, 1970s. Don't quote me on that. Around that time,
No,
with racial
19.
tension.
That's 1930. I'm a Josephine Baker. I have her in my bathroom. I got a picture of her. I love Josephine.
Okay, right. Josephine Baker time. I actually was thinking of the Lovecraft time, but that scene,
That was
yes,
the
with Josephine Baker,
1950s.
that was,
the
yeah. I was thinking of
1950s.
Lovecraft in general. What time period it took place? But anyway, Josephine Baker just looked at her and said, "You're so angry." And I remember when she did that, she said, "What are you going to do with all that anger?" And they showed her in a scene being a warrior. Right. And so what I took from it was so many things, but one of it I took from it is all that we feel, if we can just put it and direct it in something positive instead of taking it out on our friends and family, I think we will be fierce. Like you said, you can master shooting a gun. You can, people can be in judo, karate, boxing, just take all that anger and what we go through in America and redirect it so that we can lay in our femininity. And that's it for me.
That was good. I want to read.
Beautiful.
I want to read a quick quote. Not quote. Deanna Inspires said, "Angry black woman," in quote, equals hurt, tired, exhausted, frustrated, dismissed, and or disappointed. So many don't know how to heal from it. A different cape is placed on and is harder to unpack and remove. When I sat there, it hit me. I was just like, yeah.
Yep.
Who hasn't been labeled an angry black woman on this panel? See, that's a daggone shame. And I don't see nothing angry on this panel.
Well, you know what? It didn't really
I should
count
beg my
for
pardon.
me. Yeah, for me, it didn't count because it came from those other people.
Exactly.
And it was basically like, you're angry and you think you're special. And I was like, no, see, I think you're confused. What you mean is that I'm assertive, right? And I am special. That's why you hired me. Okay.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I've heard that often, but there is a difference between being angry and being assertive.
Exactly.
Oh, sister, fire is what they call me all day. Own your fire, acknowledge your fire. I will take part and accept my fire. I have it all day.
So it's from one of the things, and if you can tell from my background, I'm into books. And if you check my page, I'm definitely a resource center. I leave the books that I myself have helped me myself. So I don't share anything that I don't read myself. So I have a couple of books that are references for this topic area, because I was like, let me go pull up my books, and some of them are very old, and the ones that I pulled out, these are very old. These are books that I got in my youth when I was a young mother, and I still have them, and I'm going to share them really quick because reading is therapeutic for me, but what I read is important because I'm not into those romance novels and all that. That stuff for me is not healing, it's not therapeutic, and it's not going to give me any lessons. And because I did lose my mother long, I seeked information that I would have got from my mother from books. So that's how I got this love for books. So one book that I'm going to put in my link that is called Soul Quest, and these are African authors. Okay, so it's written by us for us, and this is a healing journey for women of the African diaspora specifically. And what I like about it is it's almost like she's talking to you, and she'll sit there and she'll talk about, you see here, she has your chakra energy. I got this like in my, I don't know, I think my late 20s. And it's like she'll go into the soul bodies, and she'll have a reasoning with you, and then she'll talk about meditations and then about mind thoughts. So this book here, I really enjoy. It's an easy read, and and it has very therapeutic pictures. I'm gonna put this in the link. This is something when you just kind of want to go into a meditative state, get in tune to your different chakras, um, find that center and that peace, and then and it's almost like she's having a conversation with you, like, sister, you need to put things down and take, envision like you're walking through, she takes you through the whole meditative state. So I really enjoyed this book. So going through, you know, custody battles, and losing parents, and dying fiancés and all, this has been a refuge for me to kind of, where I couldn't meditate on my own. This book kind of took me through it just through reading. So
Who's
this
the
is one
author?
I highly recommend. This one is called by Denise Shervington. She's a MPH, and Billie Jean Pace. Both of them are MDs. So they're African women. So definitely, this was a book that was good for me. And then it was another book I read. Now this is an author. She's from the DC area. I want to say she was a Rasta sister. All right. She had cancer, and like I said, I like to read people's stories that give me strength as a woman, and kind of let me understand, like, okay, your life it's okay. You got some challenges, but because there's always someone out there that have a worse challenge, and she talks about overcoming life's obstacle, about her spiritual journey, about not letting things take her to a point where she could not focus on herself and her health, and to deal with what some people would look at as a death sentence. And when I read this, and I just saw her, and when you meet her, when I met her, she was such a peaceful, calm, person. So when I read her book, what you read in this book is what you're going to meet in person. And it kind of lets you know, like, okay, let me take some time out for myself, relax, and meditate. And I learned how to do those things for myself when I live vicariously through someone else's eyes. So I want to share those two books with you all. And the author is Yvette uh, Bacote. Bacote. So this is a true story. So this is her on the background here. So yeah, that is how I kind of get my release. But I have to be like I said, I'm an empath, so I'm very mindful of what I'm taking in. And so that's the way that I've been able to kind of help me be okay with being a superwoman, and learning how to be in tune to myself, and to take some of the stresses off, because otherwise, I don't know, I might be full of wrinkles, hair falling out, teeth falling out, skin breaking out, I don't know. We just have to find what is going to help you navigate through just the trials and tribulations that we're going to deal with being in the diaspora, because that is just a reality of here. You're going to deal with, I've had eggs thrown at me. I've had people, I have people call me a stand end, and, all kinds of stuff. And I'm I'm a black woman, but, they want to call you everything else but what you are sometimes. And so that's stressful, that's stressful. So you have to find a way to get that stress out. So, and the gun range is nice for me, but Sammy Treasure, she kind of let us know that may not be happening in the Gambia.
Thank you, Sammy.
Yeah, we appreciate that bit of knowledge. That was like,
have you thought about maybe doing a meditation session on your channel?
I have a treat for you. We're about to end it with the meditation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And Sister Aisha Kibas, she said she would lead it for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's right. That's right. See, we're getting the powers. This is the kind of powers, like powers for real, that we can, I wanted to say that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
Sometimes as super women, we don't think about the fact that we can ask our brothers for a strength. And a strength can be in different ways. It can be, hey, someone picked on me at the grocery store. You tell, if you get negative energy that's depleting you, or if you're lacking from the male energy, do the same thing you would do for your children. Get some other male energy for them. So that means you have to get for yourself some big brothers. I'm just keeping it real. Like, when I see that something is shining on me incongruently, then I go to a sunball that actually shines and gives work. I say, hey, that man didn't act like a natural man. Make I get some sun from a natural man, and it puts you back to balance. Sometimes only males, only our brothers can give us the equilibrium. We cannot calibrate ourselves all the time. And we just have to acknowledge that. And it's funny because I'm too old to not be able to acknowledge something that I know is right and exact. I mean, this is a metaphysical thing. If I'm a plus, then I must need a minus to balance me out. And if a minus is out of its polarity, right? Like if some Batman or whatever the thing is, then I must go and get back on, must recalibrate myself with a natural man. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, your king man. But brothers, you'd be surprised. Brothers want to nurture us in that way, even if it's as a brother, even if it's as a father, even if it's as a nephew. Like I'm actually enjoying my auntie-ness. Once you pass 40, then you can tell these 15-year-olds, yo, do this and do that. And they just do it. They're happy to do it for you. They're happy that you see them as kings and as warriors, that you just, like, brothers know what you think when you give them a vibration of request. And sometimes they are refreshed that you see them as such a royal power that you need to feed off of them. They're like, yeah, mommy, I would love to shine on you. Yeah, why not? That's what's natural. So if something is unnatural, go and find what is natural to put your back.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
So true. Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. I got me some real sons. When I heard about all those people talking about Three Fish Channel, I said, well, I bet you I could find some boys who don't think I'm Three Fish Channel. And they would love to shine on me and show me about how I'm so royal and, oh, I have powers and I can create and make babies and all this stuff. Oh, yeah. So I know who I am. But when I heard something that was wrong about how I'm not, I said, wait a minute. I know some brothers right here in Oakland who could tell me. I know some real brothers right here in Oakland from America. They can shine on me and get all that darkness. So shade is real. Shade can come from brothers. It can come from sisters. But when you get the shade, go quickly find you a sunball. Even if it's your nephew. Say, yo, nephew, take auntie to the water. The kids know when you need a release. And brothers also, real brothers, they know. And they don't sit there and try to, argue their case. They're not trying to defend anything. If it's a real man, he's not trying to pretend all the time. At some point, he must be able to feel you. And if he can't, it's not a real man. Get the fuck away from him. Wipe that doodle off your leg and get to a real sunball.
Watch the language. Be careful.
Oh, so sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. We appreciate you.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there
we
you
Yeah.
do.
go.
But we're very, one of the things I'm making sure we're sound power, and we're gonna be mindful of it because we're gonna get the message out without
Yeah.
them blocking us.
Babylon. Yeah, I know.
Babylon's always listening.
I've had a long day, folks. So sorry.
No,
It's
you're
been a
It's
fine,
real
okay. Until
sister.
we
eventful
You're
get
day.
our
fine.
own platform, we'll be straight.
But yes, that's just a loving reminder. That's all.
Give
Go ahead,
thanks. No,
sis.
I have to be reminded. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Okay. So yeah, I was just going to say that there are elemental things that we have to do, and I'm kind of laughing at myself because simple things like water. Don't just take a shower. You need to take an hour-long bath, and you need to put some Florida water in it, some sage, some rosemary, some rose petals, and stir that up. Stir your own self up. How do you want to remake yourself? Like, like sometimes, honestly, sisters, like I understand the kind of women that it looks like all of us are. We're the same. We're not gonna go to a massage parlor. We're not gonna let some strange guy, whatever, whatever. Um, and we do need that current. And there are few. Like it seems like there's a what do you call it, a bandwagon? There's some kind of a bandwagon epidemic of all the brothers trying to be Lil Wayne, and so that means they're all going to try to. This guy is a boy with a whole bunch of tats, and he's somebody else he's calling daddy. Well, I'm afraid of another man calling somebody a daddy, because that means your daddy is going to be my daddy, and that's a problem for me because I can't be pimped. So I understand that there is a shortage, but we can make there be not a shortage. So this is what I'm saying. We have birthed them, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
carry a child in your womb, the man who created that child, the father, is also being carried in your womb. We know this. But we have power to do a third making. We can make the nephew. We can make our students. We can make our neighbors. I witnessed this in East Oakland. I'm telling you, I'm the first hijab. I'm the first hijab East Oakland saw. Yeah, I tell you. And when they found out that the hijab wasn't just only a hijab, yo, these brothers were amazing. They said, so you gas in your water, you hide it, just because you have. Of course, that's what you're for. You're a muscle. And he's like, yeah, that's right, I am muscle. But sometimes we have to remind them, like, yeah, I'm looking at you as the lion because you're the lion. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm the lion. Yeah, you forgot, Bridget. Hop to my water though. So you have to make them be what you see. Like, I know they don't see themselves as kings and warriors, not all of them. Some of them do. But if you show them what they are, because we have a thing, mothers, women, Black women especially, we have a thing to where if we see it, it just goes so. Adat. So if we see it as the Almighty sees it, because we are creators, then the soldier will animate. Tell him you're alive, brethren. You're supposed to love me. Like, you're not supposed to resist and play games and hide Instagram accounts. You're not. I mean, like, for real. Like, the biggest thing is what they've stolen from us, which is our joy. And if you're going to take my joy, then you won't have any joy. And then where will we be? And who has done this? The slave master. So stop bending over for the slave master. Show him, look, you are the master. I'm the master of our universe. And when you show him, brethren, that that's the only thing you know, he can't try the effery with you because you don't know anything else. You don't know forgiveness. You don't know lying and deception. You don't know less than. Like, I can't be less than. When they say,
Mm-hmm.
come on now, then you come on now. You become the water, Mummy. We are the water. We reflect anything they do. So if they do it, if they bite your hand, you bite their hand back.
Mm-hmm.
Say, that's not the way. Because it is our nature to be a teacher, to be a guide, to like, we are nurturers mentally. That's what we are. We're vibrationally nurturers, and we're mentally nurturers because our eyes, our third eye, has a universal connectivity that other creatures just don't have. And so it's our duty to breathe life into them. Because yes, we're on American soil, and the slave master has robbed me of our men. And I'll be damned if I gotta let, the Nzungu have at me. So that means you have to make him know that the two of us have to be against the Nzungu's brainwashing. This is not you. You can do better. Like, I see you as so much more. And you have to show them the contrast of the king is up here and the Rudy Poot is down here. The Rudy Poot don't get no poom poom. The king gets everything. You have to show him, like, do you want to be happy or don't be? Like, one is life and the other is death. And that's what we have in Jamaica. We say, live good. We don't say the other part. We don't say, or die bad. Everybody knows if you don't live good, you must be dying. So we have to breathe back the expectation, but we have to breathe it back in a way that is not bitters. We have to put sugar to it and honey to it and eyelashes and all this. Like, we have to treat them in the stage that they are. So, like, if the child has hurt his knee, we're not going to cuss him out for hurting his knee. We're going to put him on our lap, make it better. And the child's like, yeah, that's my favorite auntie. And then they'll do and become the animal that you want, that you expect. Just give them the fuel. We have the fuel. We have the juice. We're the only ones that have the juice. Everybody knows it, especially Becky. Everybody knows. So we have to give them the juice, and that's what it is. I think the media has tricked us into not giving our men juice, because the brothers in East Oakland, they told me, they said, "Sister, you're the only one like this." And I'm like, I don't believe it. All my sisters are like me. I mean that the general population thinks it's cool to shite the man and the man shite the woman, but that's bati behavior. And when you tell the African American, hey, the rest of the world, the black people in the rest of the world think that's incongruent to naturalness, then they stop and say, you know what? That's right. If everybody's looking at us like the elephant in the room, maybe we should start loving our women. Maybe the women start loving the men. So you don't let nobody inside your family, right? Not your immediate family. We, as the whole black community, need to stop letting them in our TVs, in our minds, in our hair. The purse, ladies, it's saying a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard for me. I have a lot of hair. It's not nothing tame. So it was a lot, you know. I have more than necessary. Everybody is proud when I come through. So I mean, like, it was a big statement, not no small, nothing, for me to have the big bush. Like, you know, and brothers, I think somebody came up to me just like 2 months ago, said, "Damn, sister, you just don't give a." I said, "You don't lie, I don't."
Okay, sis,
This is me.
can we let this sister proceed with the meditation? It's almost midnight. I don't know where you all are located.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But I'm in Pennsylvania, and I
Yes.
know some of y'all got to go to work.
Yes,
I do
indeed.
not. However,
We're
She said,
gonna let
"I'm
Sister Aisha Kiba lead us out so we can do the meditation,
Yes.
and I'm gonna try my good night. Go ahead, Sister Aisha Kiba.
okay. I'm gonna take my face off so I
Should
can
I put
focus.
us all on mute?
Sure, do whatever makes you all feel comfortable. Get in a comfortable position. If y'all want to lay down, lie down, whichever the word is, or sit down, whatever makes y'all feel comfortable. Get in that position. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is start breathing in, deep breaths. Breathe in. I am love. I am peace. I am power. Exhale through your nose. Breathe in again. I am peace. I am love. I am power. I am amazing. Exhale through your nose. Breathe in, deep breaths. Exhale through your mouth slowly, very slowly. Breathe in, deep breaths. Exhale slowly. Now I want you to envision being in a house. This house is the house you created. Inside the house has a smell that you want, whether that's lavender or your favorite perfume, whatever scent that you want to use. Also in this house is your favorite color. This color you can have as anything you would like, white or purple or black or whatever you want it to be.
In this house, you create the texture, whatever you want this house to be made of, you create that space. In this house, you have the music that you want. It could be classical or soft jazz or whatever it is, you create what you want in this house. As you're in this house, you can do whatever you want, twirl, dance, meditate. You create whatever space that you want to be created in this house. Nobody's in there with you. Just you and yourself. And as you're envisioning this, the smell, the color, the music, or no music, take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale slowly. Inhale. Deep breaths. Exhale slowly. Inhale. You are amazing. You are loved. You are powerful. You are feminine. You are strong. Exhale slowly. You exit out of your house, the house that you created, however you want it to be. And you enter into your backyard where it's nothing but grass. You feel the grass. You do earthing, touch the grass, become connected with nature. There's only grass around you, and you're walking throughout the grass and just breathing in, breathing deeply. Exhale. As you feel the grass under your feet, it is only you out there. It is very sunny, and you're feeling the sun hit your skin, and you're taking in the vitamin D. And as you're taking in this vitamin D and feeling the grass underneath your feet, you're barefooted. Take a deep breath. Exhale through your mouth slowly. Inhale. You are powerful. You are glory. You are loved. You are amazing. Exhale. You inhale deeply. You are grace. You are powerful. You are divine. You exhale. Today, you reset everything negative that has been told and fed to you. And you reset that button and start fresh and clear out everything that has been fed to you from family member, friends, from the society, and completely start all over today. You are free from bondage. And slowly open your eyes and come out of the meditation slowly. Ashe, I mean, amen.
Ashe. Okay, that was, yes, that was, did you feel it?
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
felt it?
There's a sense of weight being just lifted off.
Yeah,
I hope that the folks in the chat were able to participate because it was a
yeah,
really beautiful
All
feeling.
praises to the
Thank
God,
you,
the
yeah.
higher
sister.
power. All praises
Thank
to
you.
Him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to thank you ladies um, for gracing my panel. This
Thank you.
was an amazing conversation. I hope it enlightened everyone. Um, it's okay to be a superwoman. We just have to learn to strike that balance and make it a positive thing in our favor. You know, it, you know, certain things are what they are while we're here, and we have to just find that balance and find those things that are going to help us navigate through the Shark Tank, and to come out and still have that feminine grace.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sister Empress Kisu, do you want to say anything? Any quick parting words? Quick parting words before
Okay, quick,
exit.
quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna love that meditation because that's how we
Oh,
need to
thank
start
you.
our
All
day.
praises due to the
And
higher
words
power.
sound,
Yes.
yes, you're a very good visual guide. Goodness gracious. Um, just three
Thank you.
words is word. That's the meditation.
Mm,
Sound. It's your
mm,
vibration and
mm,
power. It's our
mm.
manifestation. We will see ourselves out of here. We will see ourselves to safety. Ashe, ashe, ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe. Alhamdulillah. Sister Anja Africa, my new sister. And I have met some amazing people on here. Um, any any parting words you'd like to share? You're good.
I'm good. Thank you. I cannot thank the sisters enough. Thank you for this panel, for bringing me in and letting me experience this. That's all I have.
You're
Yeah.
welcome anytime. Open door policy.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, sis.
All right. Good night.
All right. Sister Aisha Kiba. Alhamdulillah. Any parting words?
No, I think I've said it all. I think I've said it all. And
All
I think the
right.
sisters have said it all.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate love you. I'm gonna tell you guys, I can't do this. Well, I'm not gonna say I can't do this, but this is my partner here. This is a sister. Anytime I
Oh,
come with a
right.
topic, I confer with her. She's also, um, she's that's my family, and I just appreciate love you
I
being on
appreciate love
here
you too.
and taking your time out, because I know this is not just an easy thing for you, because you are a mom. You're doing a lot of amazing things in the background, not for me to share, but you have a lot going on and you do it all with grace.
I
and
tried, yes.
and I want to thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you next Monday, because next
Yes, I
Monday
can't
is a
wait.
is
I
a
can't
is a is
wait.
a is a new moon. So
Oh,
we're gonna
wow.
so we're gonna be
Nice.
going into we're gonna be changing energies, family. So look forward towards that on
Nice.
Monday, and so I'll
Yes.
have a show on a new energy vibration. So we gotta bring
Yes.
something good.
Yes. And I have to link up with Shamor so I can get connected to, how the whole moon works with your energy and all that. So yes, yes, I'm loving all of this.
I want to I want to say read some of the comments and say goodbye to everyone. I want to thank my sister, Gabby Dreams. Thank you for showing up, sis. Thank you so much. She says, thank you, Amina. Thank you, Sister Amina. Sheikh Yaya, I appreciate love. Sheikh Yaya says, my dear sisters, the genesis of life comes from you. Returning to essence of what made you, it is imperative.
Yes.
Under construction, welcome, preach. Al Niang, great convo. Uh, Abena B, beautiful. Have a good night. My sister Anja Africa, Friday. Don't forget, Coming to Africa release on Amazon. Okay, everyone who don't know, I need to do this quick plug. Limbling, Living My Best Life in Ghana. Their movie is coming out, Coming to Africa. Remember Coming to America? Well, this is like Coming to Africa. They wrote it, produced it, It has an it has an
Oh.
amazing cast, and they
Oh.
already did the film debut in, I think, in Kentucky. I can't remember, but it's going to be on Amazon this Friday, so we should do a movie night, and because I'm going to definitely support and get the movie so we can watch it. So that's what we'll do. We'll watch it. We'll do a sisters group. Maybe we'll get all of us, the Shamora. We'll do it and watch it. So definitely go. And then also, if you go on their channel, they have the water machines that they're sending to Ghana. I will put that in my description link since I mentioned it. I might as well, and that way you can cash after they're having a water machine that's going to be sent over to Ghana that takes water out of the air and has clean, fresh
Wow.
water. So we have to
Wow.
support and make sure we get those machines to the continent. The happy companion. Let me see. I'm clicking. Okay, people are making comments really quick. So the happy companion says, "Thank Queen Aishi. Thank Queen Global Green Book. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, brother." But wait a minute. First of all, I have to say this is my brother. I'm so appreciative of. He's in the Gambia, so he's staying up late to hang in with us.
Oh,
So
wow. That's
that's definitely
amazing.
B1.
That's amazing.
That's definitely B1.
Mhm.
And Sister Amina, she got a lot going on too. So she said, yes, I have seen it. Great movie. Okay, I'm excited. So good night, Kisu. And so with that, I'm going to say good night. I'm going to do this outro with this commercial. Wish me luck. Let me see what I can do. So let me find this banner. The full moon swag bag. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video. This is the full moon is coming. Hold on one second. Uh, me and these comments. I always forget to. Uh-oh. My notifications are coming in. Okay, so let me try this. Moon awareness is self-awareness. Women are in sync with the phases of the moon. We are all affected by the moon because the moon governs liquids, fluids, and its affects our bodily fluid, especially our fertility cycle. The full moon is a mini celebration released every month that nurtures us mind, body, and soul. Rites of Passage has moon swag bags for every full moon every month to aid you in maximize the experience. This upcoming full moon will be a full moon in Gemini, November 30th, 2020. If you really want to deepen your experience, take your moon tracking class. In the meantime, spread the mooner love. All right. How was that? So that was good. So go to Rites of Passage Institute, get your moon swag bag, sistrins, and take your moon tracking classes. Moon tracking, I've taken the class. It's a really good class. It's for women who are either in their fertile years or leaving their fertile years. It'll help you track your mood swings, your cycle, your fertility,
That's
um,
amazing.
everything. So at every stage of your life, if you understand your moon cycle, then you will understand what you're going through at that time. Uh, Sister Anja Africa said, great job. So I want to say thank you, everybody. I appreciate, love you all. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000. It's a long, it's not a long journey, but it's going to be an enjoyable journey. I want to try to make sure I bring information that's going to be a blessing to everyone. And like this video, because that will help with the algorithm so that it will pop in people's recommended list. And you all have an amazing and blessed night. All right, Aisha Kiva, love you, sis.
Peace.